Bye. It's Sunday. Hello. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. And I have a little bit of housekeeping to get to before we actually get into sort of the meat and potatoes of the discussion. It's just going to be a discussion. It's not four guys sitting around telling all of you how it is or how it's going to be. We're just going to all talk about it. But our good friend LASERPANTS is sick again, and he had to bow out for tonight, and that's okay. And we hope Ryan feels better, and sending you all the potato get wells. So that being said, I had to make a phone call to a former former president of the United States, and so I got my my pinch hitter. He's here. But that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in my friends, our guests, and we're going to have a nice discussion regarding boys action toys, specifically in brick and mortar stores. We're not saying that they need to leave brick and mortar stores, but there's some challenges. There's some challenges going on. And first, I got to say, Life Ran San Antonio. Sup, gents? First in the shoot. Very cool. I always appreciate whoever's first. So that being said, I'm going to bring everybody in, and you guys know him. You love him all the way from the Great White North of Canada. It's my brother, my buddy, Jay Bartlett.
What's going on, everybody? I apologize ahead of time for my even more nasally voice than usual, but I'm sick, so I'm sorry. It's going around again. You gave it to me, dude, from like last week. It came through the microphone and right in here, and now you hear this. So it's good to be here.
Thanks for being here, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers. How's Canada? How's Canada? How's Canada?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's freezing cold. Hence, I was out the other day actually shoveling the driveway in my shorts. So you know what? I might be responsible for what has happened.
That's weird.
Well, I'm Canadian, eh?
Hey,
we don't know no
hoser.
Better. We don't know any better.
Jay Creations NY said, "What's going on, hosers?"
Take off, eh?
Take off, hoser.
We got a beer here called 50, eh? It's friggin' disgusting, but we drink it anyway.
Oh, that's cool, eh? Speaking of somebody saying that it's cold and drinking coffee,
no, sweetie, I gotta. Oh, we're live.
Oh my god.
Here, wait, let's try that again. Hold on. Speaking of people who are cold and drinking coffee.
No, seriously, I've got to.
Hey,
oh,
you were supposed to put it down that time.
Oh, just playing with my dollies.
Sir, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Greetings.
Salutations, my friend. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
Great to be hanging out this cold Sunday night.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since you were
has.
out. Yeah,
it has.
It's literally been like 3 minutes.
I've been trying to avoid you. You keep calling. And... No.
Yeah.
Does that to you too?
Rick, we got to talk.
Anyway, We gotta bring
But-
somebody else in, right? We gotta even it out. So
Oh yeah.
all the way from Mar-a-Lago in the great state of Florida, I bring to you
Oh no.
45th president of these United States of America. This guy.
You know it. You know it. You want it. You got it, Scab. And the chat is in need.
Scab.
Call me indeed.
Yeah.
Howdy.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Not much.
How are we this evening?
Good. How are you? How you doing?
Freaking spectacular.
Good to see you.
You know what I think is hilarious is that people can't see what's going on in the green room when we're going live and the intro's playing, and everyone's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yep, rocking out.
rocking out.
Yeah, I was getting it.
Let's go. Yeah. Good times, good times. Here you go. Mikey, you have a request.
We're going to do it. We're going to bring back retails. Make
Better than
I believe in
Mortar
you,
great again.
former president. You can do it. If anyone can, you can do it. You can do it.
I got us, and I got you too, North guy.
North guy.
We'll be taking over your country soon.
We can you can build a wall, you can build a brick and mortar store for toys.
We'll build a wall, but we'll build a bridge over to Canada.
Apparently,
Yeah,
Brian
it's
Stevenson
dull.
is saying that DeSantis endorsed Papa Trump today.
Well, he knew what was good for him, I guess.
We also dropped out.
Interesting.
I don't watch the news. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
world's gonna
it's like
keep spinning. What do I care?
What does this have to do with toys and or video games? Come on, move it along.
Right? Yeah. What's up, world mate? Yep, it's there it is.
Hey, right?
hanging out.
It always messes me up.
I
'cause
always get
wanna,
that
like,
wrong.
I want to point to Jay, and I'm like, "Look at
Exits
this
are
guy
located
over here."
here, and here.
I'm jealous because I have that, but I don't have the guns. I'm missing the 2 X-wing guns on it. So good for you.
Is that because it's in Canada and you can't have them?
I don't even want to tell you. Yeah, I don't even want to tell you why I don't have those guns or where I found that Death Star. That'll be for another story. But anyway, another day.
Alright. So it wasn't because Custom saw and was like, haha, nice move. I
I'm
don't think
sorry. Nice
We don't
try,
want any
eh?
of that spacey crap in here. Get out of here. What are you doing, kid?
Yeah.
No blasters, eh?
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Robert's Infinite Realm says,
What's up,
"Let
Robert?
me re-greet Chad, Mikey, Scuba, Jay, and Chat. Good evening to
Cheers.
everybody hanging out with us tonight." Yeah, Ryan couldn't be here. Ryan's sick. Mikey's in the
guy,
house.
thinking of
We
it.
love having Mikey around because Mikey knows stuff and he's funny.
Aye.
probably funny and know some stuff. I'd switch them.
You've got my vote,
And he has a nice smile.
right?
It's not bad.
There it
not
is. There it is. All right, so just kind of a open conversation between the 4 of us knuckleheads and all of these amazing people down here in the chat. Okay, I guess on a YouTube app would be down there in the chat, not over there. Whatever. Basically, I just drive the car real fast. So, boys action toys and brick and mortar. And the reason we discuss boys action toys specifically in brick and mortar is because it's the only sort of toy that you're seeing shrinking over the years. Barbie's not shrinking, Lego's not shrinking, bikes don't shrink, board games don't shrink. But the boys action toys on their aisle, not only are there more brands, so that takes up more space, but just the IPs themselves have shrunk over 65% in the past 10 years.
I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it really, Michael said it, Soviet grocery store. That's what it looks like. It's just, my Target's always ransacked with just random leftovers, with the odd new things sprinkled in. If you're lucky enough to even go, oh, there's something new on this jumbled mess,
Yeah.
Isn't it weird looking at those? You always see those pictures online about with Walmart shelves, and there's always the same figure. Isn't it funny? Like when a figure is a dud, like it's a effing dud. Like
Yeah,
nobody wants it.
Lando,
It's
Lando Calrissian. You're
or
like,
the
Retro Gung Ho.
the Wookiee from the Boba Fett show is like always everywhere, and it's not even just one or two.
Chrysanthemum?
It's like a full Chrysanthemum or whatever his name is.
yeah, like
all the
8 of them.
it's like an epic failure in every way. It's always amazing to me. Yeah, I'm gonna say that I managed a GameStop for 20 years. So the last 10 we got heavy into toys. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion because I've seen it all, my friends. I've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Brayla says my Walmart hasn't had a new Joe since before Thanksgiving. And then
easy to believe.
Bill's saying keep brick and mortar alive. A lot of people are saying brick and mortar must stay and all sorts of stuff like that. Junkion says Lady J says hold my beer. Yeah, Lady J.
My target's got her.
Yeah.
I want my Target and my Walmart to have a viable boys toy aisle. I want to see not only toy schmoes like me, they're like, oh, I'm picking up this and that, and I'm gonna slide by the toy aisle and see what kind of cool goodness is in. But I also want to see, the little people, in there and interested, and they've got things to pester their parents about, just like we did. Like, if I'm good, can I get the Batman? And I want that. I want to see that. That's hilarious. I just chuckle as a, I remember doing that, just being, if I promise to be good, can we please get a Star Wars figure? And my brother's like doing the double press.
Yeah, I want to see kids on the toy aisle. Exactly.
Yep. And you see them on the Lego. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
That's Lego. The Lego aisle is like the melting pot, right? Like,
yeah, everybody,
sex, age, whatever. It's everybody's cruising the Lego aisle, and everybody's
young,
like,
old, everybody.
How's it going?
Absolutely.
So let me just throw this out, and you guys know that we all love G.I. Joe. I'm not throwing Joe under the bus, but what kid is interested in a dusty old IP from the 80s, especially one that can't get past the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Especially one with no
kids
media.
care about G.I. Joe, right? No. First and foremost, none. So I'll argue that with anyone any day of the week. G.I. Joe in particular, there's many brands, but G.I. Joe specifically, because Chad and I are always talking about it, is not for kids. It's not for kids at all. It's for 40-plus-year-olds who can't seem to get past the 80s, which, to be quite honest, is really starting to irritate me because we need to pass it on if it's going to live. And our generation in particular seems to not be able to do that for whatever reason. They just hang on to it. I need a 53rd shipwreck that looks exactly the same as the 1985 one. Why?
Hey, Kirk Bazigian said it. They refuse to innovate.
They're afraid. They're afraid. And again, it's a shame. And again, Chad and I talk about Hasbro of the 80s on almost every Friday Night Versus. And it was such a magical time, different company back then, a magical company that took risks. And look, everything that came out of Hasbro from the 80s. Now it's the exact opposite.
All those companies did. Yeah, like
opposite. Yeah.
When they were coming up with masks, they're like, well, we really got to focus on the vehicles, so make the figures smaller. Pretty smart idea. If they were going to be afraid to innovate, the vehicles would have suffered because we got to make the figures, Star Wars, G.I. Joe size. Yeah. But they were like, nah, we can make the figures smaller and not give them eyes, because it's all about their freaking masks and the vehicles and the rubber Goodyear tires and everything's chromed out.
Yep.
That's what made that line, not the figures.
And let's have a kick-ass cartoon to support it.
Another ballsy move with Hasbro from the 80s too is shrinking Joe down, because Joe used to be a 12-incher, the old 12-inch, and then it really got some serious shrinkage, and they took a huge risk there. But they didn't make G.I. Joe for those kids from the 60s and 70s. They made G.I. Joe for the 80s kids.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
100%.
Actually,
Sure did.
Thank you.
Here's something. I gotta get to these real quick. Chris from Cutthroat Comics sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Chris. And says, "Here's $5 super chat for the one and only greatest streamer of all time." Not me, but thanks, buddy. He made me say this. Don't kill me.
I believe Cutthroat
you do
sent you
that?
two. I think that's his second one, is it not?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, good job. Thank you. Thanks for that, Chris. Cutthroat sends another $5 super chat. It says, "Chat is great. Did you see my other super chat?" Yes, I saw that.
Oh, there you go.
You're just PayPaling him to say these
Dude,
super chats.
right,
What's
yeah.
happening?
Listen, this is what you do. You just ignore it. Go, what? I didn't see it. Then you'll send another one. Well, did you see my first two? I didn't see it.
No.
Keep sending it.
Fun fact. Every time someone sends a super chat, it automatically gets starred. So they technically can't be missed unless you're really not paying attention. But thank you, Chris.
Can we wish George Aiken a very belated birthday? That was just a few days ago.
Yes.
Hey,
Again,
happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday, George. Happy birthday.
The most modest man on planet Earth.
Right, he is. And I sent him some birthday wishes. Kind of want to chat on this real quick. We've all discussed this to some measure or another.
Mm-hmm.
Kids no longer want toys. Let's break that down. Do you guys think that's accurate?
Yes.
Yes, I went to a 7-year-old's birthday party last weekend, and we in the mix was a few toy gifts, but they pretty much were like, huh, like, and then right back to grab like presents are done. What do they pick back up? The iPad. Hey, what are you playing there? Minecraft. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that quick. It just
So how does Lego fit in there? Lego still sells well with kids.
I honestly, I think it's a mindset deal. Like, kids that want to build and create are going to gravitate towards things that you build and create. Kids that have grown up with parents that are using technology as a babysitter, not dissing on any kind of parental structure, because I have no ground to stand on.
Yeah. Me either.
people will do that. Be like, just play the iPad, just do whatever's quiet. Whereas, even though I'm a little younger, even when I was a kid, I was still sent outside to play with toys. That's not really a thing there. The world offers too many dangers, whatever the case may be. But I think there are some people that are drawn to screens and that kind of thing, and then there are still kids that want to build and create, and I think that's just personality traits even in the earliest days. But Legos are still being played with. Your guys' generation, my generation, all of our generations still play with Legos, so those kids are getting that passed down. Whereas action figures, I feel like most people like grow out and they're done. Like, most people don't hang on to them. I mean, if you look at toy sales, obviously there's an argument to be made there, because we are buying the toys, it's not the kids. But that's the Lego thing is interesting to me. I mean, when I was a kid, my grandpa was a carpenter, so I worked on things. I liked to build things. That was the draw to Legos, and it was essentially building forts and stuff for GI Joes to be in. Was most of the create. But I mean,
they have
what
that now, Mikey, and it's called Fortnite, and it's called Minecraft, and it's called Roblox.
It's not as good
to us, not to them.
I know.
To us, to them. And again, I will speak on brick and mortar all day because I've seen it. I've seen Fortnite come into the retail space. I've seen Todd McFarlane make the first batch of Fortnite figures. And I've seen the parents come in frantically wanting to buy something for Christmas for their kid that was Fortnite related. Here's a Todd McFarlane figure. And you know what she says to me? Well, what's he supposed to do with that? And I'm just like, I can't help you there. So I agree, it is parenting. I think it's a lot to do with that. But I don't think kids, and this is just, I don't have any, this is just from what I see from working in retail, they don't have that need to have that physical object. That's why they don't care about CDs or records or any of that stuff. They don't care about physical movies. Oh, so what if it's on Netflix? Who cares? I don't have to have a shelf full of this stuff. They just don't. It's sad to us, I think, definitely. But I think Fortnite. I've always said video games are an extension of toys. Okay, they really are. So I think Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft are creative block building games, especially like Minecraft and stuff, right? And that is their toys. They buy these skins for Fortnite. They buy the different characters for Roblox. They would rather have a card like that, a little gift card for Fortnite. And is not exciting as that is for us, to them, it's like, oh my God, like it's amazing, right? So,
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
My daughter kind of walks the line of both. So she's into collectibles and figurines and statues and things like that. Like she does collect. She has a massive collection of Monster High left over from when she was young. But she's also into all that stuff too. I go in the game room, she's playing Roblox. I go back in there again, she's playing Fortnite. I go in there again, she's playing freaking Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know, she comes out and she's like, "Hey, can I get this pack for Sims?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." You know, so I see both sides of it with her.
She a 20 something?
17.
17? Okay. Yeah, mine is, early 20s, and it's same. It's snow globes, a little bit of Star Wars, Minecraft. Video, it's a mishmash.
And I think some of that is like what Mikey was saying is like, the ma'am and I both collect stuff. So she's always been around that.
That has to play a factor, just the influence from the parent. I mean, no matter what it is, if it's if it's collecting toys.
I mean, I collect and I game. She collects and she games.
Yeah.
So can we World Made of Cardboard's comment? Can you highlight that?
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to say welcome and good evening to Usual Mike Television,
hey, Mike.
GeForce Racing, Gaz, and everybody else who just kind of came in since we started.
What's up, Gaz?
Is it toward the bottom there, Jay?
No, yeah, it just happened, like maybe a page up.
That just happened.
Yeah.
Well,
it was just basically about that individual figures are so much money now. And I was gonna go
the
on
price point.
Yeah, like even if they were into G.I. Joe, are they gonna spend their allowance? And again, I'm in Canada, so things are a little bit more expensive. But here they're $37 for a 6-inch Hasbro. Oof. And a kid, I don't believe a kid is getting $30 allowance. They're not.
No
so
way.
Are they going to save up 1 month to get one toy? No. Whereas when we were kids, it was way different. You could get a bunch.
Yeah, $1.97. And that's the thing. Like these are the layers in this whole thing. Like everyone wants brick and mortar to survive. Everyone wants to see that next generation get into toys. But at the same time, that sphere of everyone is okay with paying whatever, the inflated price keeps becoming for these dollies. And then at the same time, everyone is okay with, edging the kids out to get the toys.
Which is so weird.
And then at the same time, there's something with our generation where we just want to keep everything that we had. We want to keep Ghostbusters. We want to keep Transformers. We want to keep G.I. Joe. We want to keep the X-Men the exact same way that they were. This is the Jim Lee X-Men that I remember, and this is the Batman that I know, and I want everything to stay exactly how it was because it's mine. They're all mine, and everybody wants to clutch it and not let it go. And then we get into where we're at now. Like, distribution has been garbage for years. It's still garbage. And then you look at people in, say, like the UK and the EU and things like that. They just got casually told, like, the only way you're going to get this through Pulse.
How about Australia? It's like,
and I was
not even going to get it.
That's not even mentioning like places like Australia and New Zealand and things like that. And like the way that waves are distributed, the way that they're announced, and it's all like, it has to be slick and it's MTV kind of VH1 night flight, real smarmy, like, hey, we're going to show you some figures that you can pre-order in about 10 minutes. You're welcome.
And then
and it'll come out next year.
And that's what I'm
Maybe.
saying, dude. So, like, this isn't 100% fact, actually, okay? But these toys, specifically with these IPs, and I would maybe exclude Transformers from that. These are not made for kids. These are made for us. They're too expensive for kids.
Yeah.
And no kid care. Like, and no offense to you fathers out there, okay, who have like, I love Star Wars. So the first thing my kid's gonna watch is A New Hope, right? You pluck your kid down in front of New Hope and hope that that becomes his thing
That it
too.
sticks.
And he might like
You
it.
better
but
like
guess
it.
what? He probably
Or
grew
else.
up right now. If you haven't, you grew up with the sequel trilogy, and that's his. I like Kylo Ren and Rey, and we're like, no, you gotta like Luke. And before that, it was like, no, you gotta like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. It's just, I agree with you, Chad. It's like, let them have their own stuff. Let them have their own identity. And I agree. I don't know if it's a Gen X thing, but it's so weird. It's an interesting topic, though, for sure.
And this is something I want to break this down in digestible bites. So Mr. Madga says video games allow a child to talk with friends and meet other people all over the planet. It's a social outlet. Okay, true.
It's a bigger sandbox for sure.
Yeah.
Aren't playing with toys kind of the same thing? You learn how to share, you learn how to cooperate, you learn problem solving and adventure and spatial awareness and all sorts of stuff like that with physical toys.
Yeah,
Right?
you can rage quit toys too.
Yeah, you could be like,
Yeah, that gun doesn't do that.
but you're going to behave a little differently when you're in someone else's physical space with toys than you are over, say, Xbox Live.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
we can relate that to, all the Tuffy Tuffingtons in these toy groups who want to talk a bunch of smack, but when you go to the toy shows, like nothing. Right?
Well, I would say when you have a 6-foot Chad monster in front of you, it's a little different, right? Than when they're behind the keyboard.
When he sits
6'4",
down,
my sir. 6'4".
6 monster. That's I'm 5 and something. We'll just leave it at that.
That's Zaymot says, I've got 4 kids, 22, 15, 7, and 4. Man, that is
get it, brother.
Yeah, get it. They have a shitload of toys, but they get attention after the electronics die and are charging. Even then, they're checking every few minutes to see how long they have.
Interesting.
Do
you guys remember? I assume, Mikey, I don't know. You look younger than us. I'm assuming you're younger than us. But the three of us, I'm sure, are the same gen. Do you guys remember getting out of toys? Do you guys remember Scuba Pete, Chad? Do you remember that last time you played with toys and you were playing with a toy and you were just like, this doesn't really feel right? Do you guys remember that moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, I still want to play with Flash and like Cobra Commander and stuff like that, but it's like it doesn't feel right. So where do you go? You go to comic books and you go to video games, right?
Yep.
And girls,
skateboarding and music and girls.
That's what well, of course, girls, and that's probably why they didn't feel right anymore. I was like, why?
Yeah, you're like middle school. You're like, can't be.
Yeah, but the nerd
like
part still wanted to do that.
Now.
Right? Sorry, I missed
the
that.
softer side.
Oh yeah,
I like to play with something softer. Hard plastic's not for me anymore.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that video games is just the extension of that. That was our way of being able to play with toys. And it's different now. Now video games are completely socially acceptable. In the 90s, you were still a nerd if you played. If you stayed at home and played Zelda on the weekend instead of going out to the beer thing, you were a nerd, right? Now it's everyone does it. So
yeah, you should be cruising the flood wall. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like now it's just that's their thing, right? That's how a lot of people meet their friends. I think it's a little sad because you need to have face-to-face connection with people in order to learn how to have all the mannerisms and social skills required. But
I like this comment from Scott Hughes. There's also the element of laziness. Instead of taking kids to stores to dream and buy, just sit them down with a device and a credit card.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that has to be a factor. The driving one, I don't know, but it's got to play a factor in some way.
And then Mike Joseph says, screw them kids.
Screw them kids.
But you see the girls aisle, just flush with Barbie and
Yeah.
whatever new cool dollies, and we call these dollies, but dollies. You know what I'm talking about?
Not
that
Dolly,
sea of,
but Dolly.
yeah,
Doll.
that
Yeah.
sea of pink, and you're like, wow, it's packed, and there's little girls with their moms and their dads buying things, and then you go over to the Soviet grocery store side of life, and you just go, oh, the dichotomy of this is just, it's like a gut punch.
Well, and I just want to say, Robert's Infinite Realms, I'm not talking about getting out of toys. I'm talking about playing with toys, like actually sitting there and doing the voices for Luke and Vader and that kind of. That's what I was referring to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I held on to Lego, like secretly, like that still was like I'm building,
Yeah.
And then Liquid Identity 101 says, I almost never see excited kids in the toy aisle anymore.
So is this an evolution? Are toys becoming extinct in video games and apps and stuff like that? Is that the new toys? Is this the evolution of the process?
Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy at the same time? Pricing kids out of toys. We know the stuff on the aisles now for the most part. It's not everything in the boys action aisle, but it's for the most part that the heavy hitters, that's for the adults.
Yeah. Make that nostalgia money.
Yep.
Before we croak.
Okay, so what happens when our generation's gone? What happens to the Palatoy Death Star, Pete? Does anyone care about that?
Nope.
True.
Very few. You always get no, yes, they will. It'll still. Yeah. I'm like, no. Think about like, the tin toys in that. You see that at the toy shows, where there's maybe one guy that's got 10 toys. Well, you can walk right up to his booth because literally the people that are interested, they're 80, 85. They're walking up and looking at that, and it's nobody else. Everybody else is crowding all of what collectively we know the Gen X,
Well, even the little green
eventually
army men,
no one will care.
Yeah, little green army men are a novelty now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how many things do you guys have in your personal collections that were things that your dad played with when he was a kid?
0.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. I mean, I obviously am a different generation, and I do have stuff that my dad played with, kind of. But that's what we're looking at. The next generation is going to care as much about what their dads played with as we care what our dads played with. Every generation, the interest goes down and down. The only reason a kid in the future is going to have any kind of nostalgia draw to a Palatoy Death Star is that it was something that their father coveted. It was a prize piece, and that'll be maybe the only thing they ever have because it meant so much to the previous generation.
Yeah, I'm looking to that
collection. Gone.
We're getting ready to roll, not anytime soon, but roll into grandparent role, and that's where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be toy grandpa.
Here you go.
But that's who's gonna value that. Haley is gonna have an appreciation for it's the Palatoy Death Star. You got it on a trip to England. That's cool. I know that story.
Yep.
But if she has a boy, he's gonna be like, oh, I remember playing with that with Pops. If I'm lucky.
But we're also a generation, if I may. Again, let's talk about Star Wars. I think it's the easiest to talk about when it comes to this stuff, where we tend to tell the younger generation, and I've seen it so many times in the Star Wars community, the Luke and Vader generation is the only good one. The prequels are garbage. The sequels are even worse. Regardless of who cares about blah blah the politics at Lucasfilm. If someone grew up on Kylo Ren and Rey, that's their Star Wars, period. But we find it necessary, our generation, to tell them, no, Luke is the hero, not Rey. And a kid doesn't care about old Luke Sky. You think when Luke takes his hood off and he's 900 years old, a kid cares about that? No, the dad next to him is crying, but the kid doesn't care. The kid wants to see Rey and Kylo Ren because that's their Star Wars. So why is that? Why can we not pass on what we have learned? Why doesn't it stay with us? I don't understand it.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that our generation, we were like the first internet people. We all had the Netscape Navigator and the AOL and all that crap. And
You've got mail.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And we kind of grew up with all of that stuff. So we became extremely comfortable with the fact that the internet is all about consensus. And we go to these places on the internet, especially now that you have like Facebook freaking toy groups that are just dens of groupthink. And you go into these places and it's everyone like just validating each other. Yeah, we should get that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, we should get that Masters of the Universe. Yeah, that's why we don't like Revolution. And that's why we don't like that little kid's line. And he looks like a fireman. And I don't like it because it doesn't look like my He-Man, from 1981 and blah, blah, blah. And everyone just justifies. They justify each other all the time. And so they're just, again, we're just chokeholding all of these IPs. Because it just becomes like that's the norm. That's how it should be. And I understand that if you're reaching back to 1981 or 1978 or 1982, on and on and on with these IPs to like go back to the shit that you had, right, when we were kids, okay, cool. But when we're talking about now, it's square pegs and round holes, like I always say. We're trying to make G.I. Joe now like G.I. Joe was in 82, but that was 82. This is 2024. Like, so you're taking 2024, like distribution and marketing and construction and aesthetics and applications and all that stuff, but you're trying to smash it into this, 1982 or 1985 animated series that doesn't exist. And so that's where you have this weird juxtaposition, like, oh yeah, it's mud. But it's not. It's not mud. It's not low light. It's like a weird bastardization of them. But at the same time, like, you can't be told that because, like, you have to justify the fact that I really wanted this, and because I wanted it, it justifies them making it. And
well, they tried to do that different. They tried to bring out classified. They tried to change the characters, regardless of what you think of the Fortnite weapons. They had gold, Duke looked a little different and stuff, and I was all for that. But the Joe fans, the toy fans in general, that's not my Duke, that's not my. Okay, well, we're losing money now. Well, give them what they want. I don't know. So we blame Hasbro, but at the same time, it's like they don't innovate, but all we want is the same thing. You can't have everything. And then everyone points the finger at Hasbro. Hasbro, you're the worst company ever. Hasbro's just given us what we want, man.
But
that's what I think. I really do.
Let's go back around full circle to the whole consensus of the internet and the fact that, like, just because these companies are on the internet and you can say, like, I want this from at Mattel, and it's so many people do it, then Mattel's like, oh, I guess our vision wasn't cool enough. Now we got to change it. And that's just what you see over and over, like pivot, change. It's like, just get a vision and make a toy. But the fact that they can reach out to them, they think they're friends with them. We know how, like, people always talk about Lenny from Hasbro's Joe team like they're bros. And, oh, well, Lenny told me this, man.
Dude, they're not, listen, those little presentations they do, they're not fooling anybody, man. I watched one, and that was the one where the Storm Shadow became available, the Amazon exclusive, and everyone was like, oh my god, it's Beatles.
Oh, man, you're going way back.
That's the last one I watched, because I saw Michael French do the did a video. He's making fun of the Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, rightfully so.
Good Lord, it was funny.
They're playing a real whip.
They're playing with this real whip, and they're playing with the medallion that's this big, and I'm just, it's like, who is this for? No kid on planet Earth cares about the Staff of Ra and the medallion from the map room scene from a movie from 1981. Nobody cares. Facts. I'm sorry, it's true though.
I like.
It's just sad that we. Oh, go ahead.
No, please. It'll wait.
It's just sad that we're living in a it seems like an inflated time of, well, what should we do for the shareholders? Feel like, well, we can't really spend. We can't be creative because look, we still got to make our. I'm like, really? How about they just made toys? They just made toys for kids. They make that Motu cartoon. I mean, you got to give it to Mattel on some level for like, yeah, let's try
They
that.
did the
Let's do a
Revelation.
Netflix.
They
Yeah.
did Revelation, and then they did the kids stuff.
Something for everybody. I loved
Yeah.
it. I thought it was
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Good idea.
I found this comment from Blue Serendipity very interesting, right? As a female who can attest to the girl aisle, right? As a grown-up girl, notice she had to say I'm grown up. As a grown-up girl, there really isn't anything new or exciting in the pink aisle either. It's the same toys I played with in new packaging: Disney princesses, Barbies, Baby Alive, other dolls. There you go.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
And I think it's
also
the same
noticed-
reasoning. It's the previous generation being a little bit selfish and really stuck on representation. So everything that is in those aisles is because the previous generation wants to see either what they know or what they know will sell and keep their ass employed by making money. So they know kids aren't going to make a money because they're not pitching anything to toys.
rub some more salt.
Mikey, I agree with you. Yeah, it's
Sorry, Zaymon.
we're trying. Our generation is trying to escape death in every way possible, and hanging on to these dusty old memories is what we're doing. That's why we're gathering all these toys.
Look, we're midlife
Chad's
crisising.
doing
All
a
right.
little
Understand,
more.
man. Listen, I make a living doing this stuff. Okay, and I can see what it is. The more I collect, the more I won't die. Right?
Hey,
No, man, you're
look.
going down.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop drinking bubble bath.
I'm being facetious, of course. This
That
show.
bubble bath is probably safer to consume than 50% of the stuff they sell us to consume. So I think you'll be okay. Yeah, I think a lot of it is a selfish need for your own representation. So everything they're doing is the same stuff that your generation grew up with, my generation grew up with. And since toys aren't marketed to kids, at least the ones that we're mainly talking about here, they pitch them to us. We're the consumer on this. They're not going to come out with a new line. That's way big of a risk than any toy company is going to take.
Well,
Why?
I mean,
Is it
Why-
because they just understand that requels, sequels, reboots are just familiar, and everything's about familiarity these days?
I think some of it's that. I think some of it is just ease.
Okay.
It's
So if we're
easier
talking
to
about
pitch the
ease
same
and we're
idea.
talking about risk versus reward, right? You see that Hasbro doesn't want to do O-ring Joes unless they're hitched to, a Transformer now, right? So we got that kind of deal. The only way you're going to see classic O-ring Joes is with the Transformer
mashup.
crossover stuff. So they license it to Super 7. They get all the reward with none of the risk. All the risk is on Super 7. They're licensing, the page punchers and all that stuff to McFarlane. They're licensing everything out to all these different companies. Even if you want to get into like Haya, which is a very, very small slice. So it's all about reward, less about risk, requel, sequel, reboot, all that stuff. Amazon accounts for over 40% of all boys' toys sales.
No problem believing that.
This is kind of where we're going with this whole
Yeah, where you can just-
discussion.
well, listen,
right?
you can only go like everyone has full-time jobs, everybody works, everyone has kids, everyone has so many hours during the day. I know myself, and I am a toy hunter like you guys. I'm tired of driving around and going to Walmart and going, the toy aisle's always in the back, like so far back, all the way
You
back
got to
there.
go through the beaded curtain to get to the adult stuff.
Nothing
Yeah.
there,
And it's always the same three things.
right?
Get out of there.
Or
They bag it in a paper bag for you, so it's discreet. Nobody knows you're buying jollies.
nothing there, nothing there, nothing there.
Put that Lady J in a
Or-
brown bag.
Could pull out my phone and oh look, there's the newest wave of the Indiana Jones guys, and they'll be at my house tomorrow.
Hey,
Hi.
Hello.
birthday.
Mwah.
Thank you.
No,
Happy birthday.
I know.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
There's your boy.
Brought a kitty.
What a kitty.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what are you doing? Did you go run?
I did. I don't know what's on
Yeah,
my
He was
on.
running.
she was running. Now she's back there working on her stuff. So let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. I gotta do some housekeeping. Cutthroat Comics sends another super chat. Thank you, Chris. You can stop now because I'll still read your comments. I remember when my son was 8 and Skylanders for his Nintendo Switch was the biggest thing in the world. I just didn't get it when I saw it for the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember showing our kiddo some Atari 2600 and NES games, and she's like,
Mm,
no,
yeah,
no.
that's cool.
Not
Anyway,
a thing, right? It's just not
Yeah.
that generation. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Cutthroat. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then Ken Rothermel sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Ken, and says, I really believe a good 4 to 6 inch Fortnite line done right would be great. The skins are so creative and a huge variety. Hasbro botched it bad. I've got a bunch of the 4-inch Fortnite figures. This guy in particular, because this guy fits right in with G.I. Joe. That Skull Trooper guy, I freaking love this dude. I've got him all over the place. Yeah.
I
Thanks,
wonder
Ken.
if video games did kind of like a flag point kind of thing where you could somehow you got credit and you could, Amazon voucher for whatever the new Fortnite figure is. If there was something like that that would drive the interest from the video game and incorporate it into boys' toys, if that would do anything, I don't know, because I mean,
They
even
do
vice
do that.
versa.
Fortnite figures went right to clearance. I mean, it didn't
They
seem like
did
they were
do
on.
that. The problem is no one cared about the kids didn't care about the toys, and at the time, Fortnite had how do I put this? Fortnite was something that kids played with, right? That was a kids game. Now, of course, we know that's not the case, but they tried that. They tried it in the DC Fortnite comic books. They tried it in the McFarlane toys. They didn't care. So, sorry.
So it really is just an interest thing. They're just not interested in playing with figures. That's
now
Well,
that's the,
I
I was
will
just kind of
say-
thinking, what about Turtles? You had the new Turtles movie. This strikes me as they did it right. You've got this new Turtles movie out, and there was merch to actually go buy.
Yep.
From the movie, like we can stop by after the movie and pick that up.
Yeah.
So
Timing.
your kid, yeah, here you go, and
The
they'll play with
Jazzworth
it.
Halo stuff too.
And then you got the merch. There I see the the little ones running around with Mutant Ninja Turtle shirts. I see it all the time, and I'm like, that's cool. But that strikes me as one time that it's been done right. Who wants to watch a Disney Plus show and be like, I talked about with Shabby, like, oh, you really like that? Okay, well, it's coming out next year. You can have a doll of that.
Next year. Yeah. And it'll just be the last wave of dolls on a new card. You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Logic
don't want
Blaster
it? What?
sends a Logic Blaster sends a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, and says, really love these live streams, honest discussion about toys. Thank you very much. And
Yeah, we're all collectors. We're all in the trench. I mean, we're what you see is what you get.
yeah. Thank you, Logic Blaster. I think it's all of you guys in the chat and my good friends who make it a good discussion. So here's the thing. If everyone in the chat is in some kind of consensus, not internet consensus, but just conversational consensus, that kids don't like toys anymore, kids don't really care, they want Fortnite, they want Minecraft, and the big two retailers have lost 65% of their presence, their footprint in the two big retailers. Hasbro lost 43% of its value as a company and laid off a third of its workforce, with Amazon accounting for 40% of toy sales for boys action toys. And just like what Jay said, I completely agree with. Why do I want to drive to 5 Walmarts to try to find a figure?
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's exhausting.
So I'm throwing this out to you three. You know, as lifelong dolly lovers and everybody else in the chat too, would you rather just buy all your toys online? Because I know a lot of people just buy all their toys online. I know that all these fools that have, you know, the completionist mentality and they've got all the classified dollies, they didn't go buy all this from Target and Walmart because you can't.
No, there's no way.
You can't, right? Because over 60% of that line is exclusives, right, Jay? We talked about that.
Yeah.
So should we just say, okay, dollies are going to go internet only?
I
To your
personally,
Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, Hella Dope, all those places.
I don't think there's any kind of reward or like badge of honor because you go to Walmart's. I mean, if you could just do it on Amazon, why wouldn't you do it on Amazon? I love going to vintage toy stores and looking for vintage toys because there's
Sure.
not that. Like Chad, I'm all about Super Troopers since last night, right? I'm trying to find like a green one, right?
Which
But I'll
you could-
wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait because I'll know I'll find him eventually. I don't have to worry about, you know, everyone going crazy over Snow Serpent with classified or whatever. So I don't know. As I get older too, I don't have all the time in the world to drive around. If I could just get it hand delivered to my door, I don't think there's any. You're not less of a collector for doing that than you are wasting half your day and coming home with nothing.
Yeah, and all your freaking gas too, because gas isn't cheap.
Since 2020, since Beachhead, new toys have not been fun for me to go out and hunt for.
Beachhead.
They just haven't. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So I'm all for getting them online. Sure.
Kevin from Peg Warmers, what's up, dude? Says if I take my kid to pick out a toy for his friend's birthday, he'll want something. If I show him a picture of something his friend might like, he'll give me a yes or a no. Right? See? Take him in the store.
Classic.
Because again, when we're talking about things like you know, finding dollies in physical brick and mortar stores and not what Jay was just discussing, where a lot of us go to collectible stores. That's a different kind of animal in itself, but the packaging is why that stuff is important. Like Kevin from Pegwarmer just pointed out, like this is where all your favorite lines are at their maximum competition with one another in the stores, because the packaging is what draws you in. You know, do I want this Masters of the Universe figure or do I want this freaking you know, Marvel Legends figure? It's going to come down to what catches their eye. Packaging, paint apps, aesthetics, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
And there's less of everything. It's not like, you know, when our generation was kids and you went to the boys aisle and there were, you know, a dozen or so IPs. Like there's so much competition because everybody has their own line. So a store is offering less and less selection for everything. And so you're not that, you know, those pictures of Toys R Us in the 80s where it's an entire, you know, aisle of G.I. Joe, or when I was a kid, I remember the Power of the Force being an entire aisle in Walmart. That'll never happen again unless toy stores become like Apple stores and Hasbro just has Hasbro or something like that. That'll never happen again.
I like this comment from Brian Stevenson. The thrill of the toy hunt cannot be matched by online shopping. Yeah.
That's
no,
true.
it can't, but yeah, I mean, I'm not here to change your mind, Brian, definitely. I'm just I'll just say someone said in the chat, aren't you worried about damaged packaging? Of course. I did a video a couple years ago on my channel about Jedi Luke Skywalker from the vintage collection. I had to go through 4 because they were crushed. And I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's one of the chances you take. But have you seen some of the people, how they handle the toys at Walmart? Have you seen?
I was going to say, the risk isn't that much lower. I mean, even if you're hunting and you find, I don't know, someone I haven't been able to find, I didn't see, but I would have picked up Big Ben. Okay, I would have picked up a Big Ben. If you find, you've went to 3 Targets and 3 Walmarts, and you find one and it's crushed, that's your only shot to get that at retail. You're not going to find it again. It's your only shot. So, I mean, at least with online, at least you can make a bitch. Maybe they send you a different figure. You know, the way that stuff works is ridiculous.
Well, I don't know, Jay. Why don't you tell everybody who's hanging out with us tonight the fable of 4 Jedi Knight Luke Skywalkers?
Me, yeah. I like this. I like this comment here. Online shopping is cheating. I disagree. I don't think there's any kind of rules to this. We're all entitled to our
Jay-
opinions. Keep that in mind,
Did
Shane.
anyone
I'm
else
not
hear the
telling,
ma'am talking to her cat?
no. I'm not telling anybody what's what. I'm just saying, like, to me, there's no badge of honor from going out there. It's like in the trenches for a day, coming home empty-handed. I'm just, my days of doing that are over, and the retail landscape has changed. And I know that from being a manager at one of the GameStops and seeing carton after carton of Flint and Lady J come in, and Joe customers, toy customers coming in. Oh, do you have whoever was new at the time? You have a Snow Serpent. Well, no, because I
Nope.
have to sell these 16 Lady J's because our head office just sees 16 Joes in my inventory and they won't send us anymore. So we miss all these waves, right? I don't know. It's just it's a sad state of affairs now, but I agree with you, Chad. Distribution has been crap for a long time, and I think now we're seeing it catch up to retail. Companies like Amazon can afford to have 3,000 Lady J's kicking around, right? They don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Darth Wizzy Wizard, what is up, dude?
Hey,
what's
Wizzy.
up, dude?
And they're not afraid to price them on clearance to get them out to get other stuff in. I mean,
even periodically. I mean, this will be on sale this week, and
Right.
then 2 months later, it'll be on sale again. I mean, they're monitoring inventory levels of each individual SKU, not how many SKUs of one brand you have.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, and again, look at Ollie's, right? Ollie's stock was going through the freaking roof because it's not that people don't want the toys, and I'm not just saying adult dolly aficionados, like kids go into Ollie's too because they can get a grip of figures at $3 a shot.
Right.
You know, they can get that one $30 dolly, or they can go get 10 $3 dollies. They're going to go get 10 $3 dollies.
Like you said, they're not earning $50 to mow the grass. You know,
no. Hey, baby,
I got 5. Maybe they're getting 10, but at least you can go to Ollie's and pick up 2-3 things for that if that's what you want to spend your dough on. How about this? That there's a much bigger monopoly on all these IPs. You only have a couple companies and they have everything. Where back in the 80s, you had, they weren't all snarfed up by one megacorp.
You had Kenner, you had Tonka, you had Mattel, you had this,
right?
You had that.
Honest competition. The reason
you got
competition
Mattel
we don't
Hasbro,
want
right?
Yeah,
Hasbro,
it forced innovation.
Yeah,
you were going to take a risk.
Yeah, because you didn't have to worry about stepping on your own toes. You're like, well, I want to blow Star Wars out of the water. Not, well, we don't want to hurt Star Wars sales.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're doing GoBots. Have you seen Transformer sales?
I said send it.
Media Clash says Hasbro stock dropped because of the shitty E1 purchase and sale. I'm going to agree to disagree on that. Buying E1 for almost $4 billion and selling it for 10% of that didn't help them, but their stock was crashing long before they sold it, and they sold it as a tax write-off anyway. But again, to kind of add to what Scuba Pete was saying, when you're a company that's swallowing everybody up, and you have all these partner brands, you're beholden to the partners to make characters that are interesting and not make a bunch of Rose Ticos and Admiral Holdos and Eternals figures that just sit on shelves and don't sell. That's what's hurting Hasbro.
Oh my God.
That's hurting Hasbro way more than E1. Which, whatever, that thing was dumb anyway. So was that Peppa Pig?
So Classified's almost doing the exact opposite as is Star Wars then, because Star Wars is offering you background characters and a variation of characters. Whereas Classified is offering you the same thing you had in the 80s. It's the same thing. It's painted the same thing. It's just a bigger scale.
Is Star Wars still doing that, Jay?
Well, I mean, with each new movie, you get a new set of characters, right? Whereas G.I. Joe's not doing that.
But it's always the mainstream main characters. You'll never get the glory days of Star Wars collecting was the 2000s because they made everybody and every vehicle ever, right? They just did, and you'll never see that again. Star Wars is so boring to me for collecting. It's the same. And I'm a Luke guy, and it's just another Luke,
Mhm.
this and that, another Han. It's like, dude, like
It's like the same with the Marvel people. Like, oh, it's another Spider-Man and another Spider-Man. There's another
well,
Spider-Man.
Legends at my local comic store, dude. It's the pegs are so tight, you can't even shop them. They're so tight. No one cares in my neck of the woods about Legends. I see waves come out, and maybe one or two figures will sell, and the rest just sit there. Everyone's just, I think
Well,
everyone's
it's
just burnt out, man.
like you and I were talking about one of the times we were hanging out, Jay, backstage, the Yo Toys here in Albuquerque, where I go all the time. I was in there talking with the owner about this and that, and yeah, I'm gonna pick up this and I want to get that. And he's like, "You sure you don't want some of these classifieds?" And I'm like, "Why would I want those? Like, that's not my thing." He's like, "Dude, I can't sell them." He's like, "They just won't move." And I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not gonna bag on them. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it depends who, and like I always said, Chad, if Hasbro would have done half of each wave of classifieds as new figures, even from the 2011 Hama comic on, I would have been fine. But it's all, well, now they're sprinkling in new guys, which is fine. But it's always just old guys. I don't understand why they can't make old and new. At least Star Wars is doing that, where they have the legacy characters and new ones. But
Yeah.
Joe just seems to be, nope, it's all the same dudes, man. Same characters.
They
It
haven't
seems like
had
a lot of
any-
that could be the media too. Like Star Wars is constantly making media, whether it's a new video
Sure.
game, it's a new movie, whatever it is.
Right.
There's constantly something new to build on. So you get the video games, GameStop gets those video game characters,
Yeah.
something new. Whereas GI Joe has been
It's always the
dead for
redheaded
decades.
stepchild.
Yeah, not since Resolute or Renegade have they tried to do anything new. And even when
and
they
none
did
of that was
Resolute and
mainstream.
Renegades, Resolute was a continuation of pretty much of the Sunbow series, and Renegades is like the same characters just in an A-team setting. And they just kind of like rejiggered, Cobra as an organization, but it's still the same people doing the same crap over and over. I got to hit this real quick. Earl Potts, thank you very much. Says Chad sent your package out today. I don't even know what you sent me, but cool. Thank you. Pete, what is the Sarge picture next to you on the wall?
That is from Joe Fest last year with Breakfast with Sarge. And
cool.
you got that poster along with your brekkie and getting to hang out. So yes.
Oh, Jeff,
Do you guys
Jeff
have any
Butler.
action stars?
Sorry, Chad. I keep forgetting. I'm so used to clicking on the chat. That's my bad.
That's fine. I'm not looking down at the bottom. So
Jeff Butler's comment about classified will balance the old and the new. They would have file cards. Well, that would mean they would put effort into GI Joe, and you're not going to see that. So,
which again kind of goes back to the whole discussion of brick and mortar or no brick and mortar, because the Haslab figures have file cards.
Right.
Why is it that the Haslab figures have file cards, but the store-bought figures don't? Is it because we got to do the 5L and we can't smash a file card in it?
They just want the whales, Chad. They just want the whales. They want the 40-plus-year-old corporate execs that have tens of thousands of dollars in the bank. They don't want everybody buying their stuff. That's truly what I believe, because the everyday guy we're getting priced out of the hobby.
And that's why I like this conversation. I'm not for or against brick and mortar or online only for, boys action toys. I don't have an opinion on it either way, because again, like I've always said, new stuff, the stuff that you find right now that's being produced in China or India or wherever, I don't buy it. So I don't really care. I either buy my stuff, say from like all of Justice Curry's freaking, massive Facebook toy group claim sales, or, we go to brick and mortar mom and pop collectible stores or conventions. So I don't necessarily care one way or the other. I'm just asking people, you three fine gentlemen, all these rad people in the chat, what do you guys think? Do you want to drive to 5 Targets and Walmarts and find the same, Karenus from the Snake Eyes movie and the same Eternals figures and the same freaking Motu? Or like, what do you want? What do you guys want to see? Because I believe in the thrill of the hunt. I absolutely do.
Sure.
But where I hunt just looks different. It's just not, it's not Target. It's not Walmart. I don't see Target and Walmart as toy stores. I never did. you know. And then again, look at this. The Target Cobra Island debacle ruined it for me. That there
Yeah.
was no hunt.
It was like
I mean,
kicking
that
the
was
nuts.
Dude,
There was
Eric, let me throw this out there, man.
Oh, beachhead.
I totally agree. And I had one of my Canadian pals got all the targets for me. And that I remember, and I've said this on when Chad and I's show before, but when I finally got that beachhead, it was this weird relief followed very quickly by this intense sick feeling. And I'm not even being dramatic here. I'm just like, why do I feel this way? It was like
Mhm.
relief that I got this. I'm like, Jesus, this is just a toy, man. This shouldn't make me feel this way. And I'm like, oh yeah. And from then on, like I classified was just I would pick up one or two here or there, but I stopped that hype train right there.
It just
and
shouldn't require this Herculean effort. You should either. I'm all for finding it wherever you can. I want it online. I want it in the stores.
Yeah.
I would like it everywhere, just so I have a choice.
Yeah.
Jay, I think what you had is what I refer to as post-hunt clarity.
Yeah.
And you know what the worst part was, Mikey, is that I didn't even find it myself. Someone had to buy it for me. Ugh. So maybe there's a little bit of guilt there too. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
See, and this is what I find really interesting about this conversation, because I'm sure everyone can agree that to some degree or another, top down, bottom up, the boys action kind of part of the toy industry is just busted. Prices, distribution, availability, what's exclusives, where's it an exclusive, why are pre-orders selling out online, on and on and on and on and on and on. I go to 5 stores, or like Jay says, I can't find it in Canada. Our Australian friends, New Zealand friends, European friends can't find it, can't get it, don't have it. How do you rectify it? Like Scott Hughes says, everyone's saying they'd rather buy online as part of the problem. Most people say like, well, if I can get it online, I'll get it online. And then you have like the Target Cobra Island thing. That was a freaking shit show. And I have a boxed, sealed Cobra Island beachhead sitting on a shelf in my game room. I care nothing for that figure. I could take it, toss it out in the street, and just wait to see some kid randomly come by and pick it up, and it wouldn't affect me one way or the other.
Well, it won't be a kid. We've already discussed that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Be
No,
some 40-year-old like, oh,
be the
man, look at-
mailman.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me
Mailman.
whatsoever. It doesn't matter. Not even in the least. And so I'm just interested, like, where does it go from here? How do you get kids back into it? How do you keep the adult collectors, who are really the ones that are keeping these lines solvent, how do you keep them coming back and satisfied? Because not everyone is happy. There are some people who are just like, it is what it is. And then you got some people who have actual good ideas. But everybody's got an opinion. And to say you don't have an opinion is bullshit. So I'm just interested to see what people think. And again, I'll just reiterate the fact that, I'm not going to find this stuff at Walmart or Target, online or in brick and mortar. Like, I'm going to go other places.
Well, you need new media. Okay, you need new media. You need to propel the IP again. Let's use Joe as the example. Forward with new media. Okay, and it's not the 80s anymore. The 80s, GI Joe was on at 4:30. Okay, you came home from school, and if you missed it, man. Gone. Okay, you got to wait till tomorrow. You might not ever see that episode again. There was this sense of urgency. Whereas now, take the Motu Revelations, for instance, that comes out and it's the whole series in one shot. So everyone gets everything right away. Where in the 80s, everything was staggered throughout the year. So there was a constant push, constant excitement for G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, all that stuff, because it was only available a few times a day and you had to sit there and watch it. So it's just different now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then these were the physical representation of what we just watched.
Yeah.
So we saw our cartoons, and then we were like, yeah, tell him, Skidmark, go get him, yo, Joe. Right. And then
continue the adventures of Skidmark after
Skidmark and whatever his freaking face is.
Yeah.
Somehow
Laser face.
Somehow Pete dropped
Jerry
off.
face.
He comes back, but Yeah, I hope so. Media Clash says, I don't want a toy hunt. I like that. I'm a loose collector. I don't care about boxes. I just want to be able to buy my stuff.
Yeah,
Simple, right?
I'm with you,
Simple.
dude.
Good
I
point.
like hunting for vintage stuff. I think that's a lot of fun. I do. But the new stuff, I'll get it where I can get it. I
Well, I
agree.
mean, at a certain point, like you don't have the option to go toy hunt anymore because it's wasted effort because the pegs are empty.
Well, and
So,
some
like,
of it's
as
also
much as you
geographic
do like
location
that,
too.
yeah, and that's true. I mean, as much as you want to go toy hunt or may want to go toy hunt and get that, man, I got it today. I don't have to wait for Pulse to release it or whatever.
Yeah.
You got it right there. You got that instant satisfaction. It's just not there anymore. So you might as well order it online and know that you're going to get it. I mean, I guess I feel that way. I don't. I still do toy hunt a little bit, but I mean, you're talking. I got to do it on my lunch break,
Look,
or something like, or after work. And
can we address the elephant in the room? Okay. Before
I'm
I
right
say
here,
this,
man.
no, don't be like that, Mr. Former
What do you
President.
want?
Don't be like
You
that.
talk about me, just make it cheers to my face.
And I have nothing but respect for anybody who works retail. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
just let me
Oh,
say
yeah.
that first because I've been there. Okay. For a long time. But do we not forget how absolutely miserable and unpleasant it is to go into Walmarts? Am I the only one who thinks that? Because I absolutely hate going into Walmart. It's always it's the Wild West, man. I don't like going in there. So, going in there knowing that nothing is going to be there anyway. Hey, he's back.
Stupid internet.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Glitched hard.
I have to agree with what Judge Dredd says as well. So, again, like I was saying, I can just go doom scroll eBay, but then I'm gonna have to deal with the ma'am sitting next to me going, "You don't need to buy that." Hey, I'm kidding. On eBay, the shipping costs as much as the toy. So how is that good? I cannot agree with that more. I have found some killer items on eBay, and I'm like, oh, I'm snagging this. And then I look at the shipping. Say the item's $100 and the shipping's 80.
Yeah.
Like, well, that just doubled, and the tax. Nope.
Mhm.
3 times out of 5, yeah, I have to turn away a really good item because the shipping's just ridiculous, and it's only getting worse.
That's just sellers gouging for more money. That's all it is. 100%.
It's an outrageous convenience fee.
Yeah.
Like they have it, you want it, so this is
Especially when you go look at the sold prices and you're like, what?
right.
They're like, you want it? Buy it.
Our good friend Mo says that Big Ben figure is $37 at Walmart standard price. What is that? I said and refused to buy it.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Everyone talks about how much they miss Toys R Us. Well, I got news for you guys. I have a Toys R Us 5 minutes down the road. And you want to talk about crazy prices, man. How would you like to pay $64.99 for a NECA Jason figure?
Oof.
It's ridiculous.
Ouch.
So, yeah, it's not the glory days it once was. And I think we need
Well,
to.
yeah, I mean, we miss the idea of Toys R Us and what
It's
it used to
not
mean
what you
to-
think.
Mhm.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah, Jay, talk on this for a second, because
Sure.
I got a lot of comments on the Instagram post about the topic tonight about like, you need to stay positive and you need to do this and we need to support Toys R Us. And I'm like, I used to support Toys R Us, but Toys R Us stopped having what I wanted to buy from them, and it just became a slow slide. And Jay, you and I talk about Toys R Us all the time. So why don't you tell us firsthand as a Canadian?
We have 2 in my town, like I said, and I don't really go into them because they know that they are very sought after. It's like the promised land. I know everyone in the States is like, oh my God, you have Toys R Us. I'm like, it's not with Jeffrey and all that stuff like you think it is anymore. You go in there and everything is even more overpriced than it is. The shelves are completely stocked all the time, sure, but that's because I think everything is just so overpriced in Canada, and then Toys R Us bumps it up even more. I don't know. Like, I just feel like the everyday guy is getting priced out of these, and I can't stress that enough. And believe me, I love toys, This is what all of us do, right? We collect this
Mhm.
stuff. I want to keep buying this stuff. I want to keep collecting it, but I just when action figures, when a single figure is getting into the price of a brand new video game, there's a problem here. There's a problem here.
I would love to see Toys R Us come back to the States
outside
and
of
be, available, affordable, and things like that. But sure, if Toys R Us came back to the US in the way that it's easy to get to, sure, of course I'll go to one.
But your point's well made, Jay. I mean, we just got groceries and spent $380 on groceries. Like, oh my God.
Dude,
Let alone, I'm
Same.
going to
Yeah.
slide in a $50, $40 action figure on top of that. Yeah. Nah. Not
And now you have Hasbro, who's the rich kid on the block that owns everything but doesn't want to share anything with anybody unless you pay a little bit of a price. So now what do? Now they have, okay, well, McFarlane can make that. Super Civic can make that. You guys take the chances and the losses on it, and you pay the fees to us. It's
yeah, they learned from Disney. They're like, wait a
despicable.
minute.
I
And
just
then if
I
you order
just
it
smell
directly
like
from them, you're the last to get it.
Sorry.
Oh, I just said if you order it directly from them, you're the last to get it. So it's like even
Yeah,
the back
what's up
end
with-
of it is the finger. Like
Well,
I ordered it right from the source. I mean, I understand that it's outsourced, even that, but I ordered it from Hasbro, and I'm getting it 3 months after everybody else. Like, what the hell, man?
because they
Like,
got
not only
the
did I
money.
pay your extra price, and people pay the membership and all that. What does it get me? Early access to something you already sold out of? Like,
Well, it gets you a guarantee, and they already got your money, so they don't care when you get it.
no, they don't.
That's the sad truth, man. And I'm not trying to be cynical and stuff. And I'm with Chad, where I think positivity needs to come across genuine. And right now, for me and the toy collecting community, there's not a lot of positives in terms of new stuff. So, I don't want to come across like I'm this grumpy old toy collector, because I'm not. I'm just very unhappy with the state of things, and I have been for a couple of years now. That's all.
Well, I
That's
mean,
all.
that's the only point of perception where change can occur, right? If
Mhm.
it's all good, you're not going to advocate for change because it's going well. Once it goes well and you're open to having an open conversation about the issues, then maybe somebody can come up with a solution to the problem.
Right.
If you don't address it and you're just like, well, just be positive. I'm not happy. I can't force positivity.
That's
There's
right.
there's something that needs to change,
Yeah.
and the community is the only way
Here-
to
Here's the thing about
source
that
that
whole
thing out.
just be positive. They don't want you to be positive. Most of the time is they want you to be positive about the thing, or that they got the thing. Not like they don't want you to be positive, like wake up in the morning and see your life in a positive way. It's about positivity for the next thing. It's like a weird bastardization of positivity.
Mm.
Like when people, when Hasbro announced all the people that they were laying off, and people were jumping on forums like, well, at least I got my his tank. Be positive for me.
Yeah.
Fuck those people. Be positive for me though,
Yeah.
because I got my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole false
your-
positivity thing. Like, I don't
Keep
need
your
your
rose-colored
positivity.
glasses on.
What do you guys think about this question from Darth Wizzy Wizard? Because I saw somebody said, Shane said, don't say that out loud. And I had to go back and find it. But what do you think about that?
G.I. Joe should take a break for 5 years.
Hey, baby.
I mean, it will eventually.
Honestly,
They'll kill it.
for me, Wizzy Wizard, I don't care about G.I. Joe taking a break, because it's so boring to me. It's like Star Wars. It's like Black Series. All the new stuff that's coming out is just so dull, and you're buying the same thing over and over and over again by choice. If they take a break and come back with a brand new G.I. Joe show, or a new movie, and have figures, like I would take another Rock's G.I. Joe movie just to have something different. And that's how desperate I am for G.I. Joe right now. Just something
Well,
new, something
They
different.
were working on that G.I. Joe 3, and the producer, everyone knows who that guy is.
I'm sorry, who
And
would that be?
Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. And the writer were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to murder Cobra Commander in the first 3 minutes in a coup, and we're going to bring in the twins. And Mark Webber from What's on Joe Mind was in the room, and he was like, you're going to what? Like, you just did that to Duke. Don't do that. And then they made
Look, murdering
made this
Cobra
movie.
Commander, like you can't get worse than what they did to Snake Eyes. It's
Right,
not even
G-Force?
Snake Eyes. at
and
all
that's
in
why
any
I
way.
pulled
Yeah.
this comment up right here.
Oh,
Yeah, they put out a movie of movie figures and it didn't go well because, again, square pegs and round holes. You want everything to be like it was in the 80s, but then you take the most, I hate the freaking word, iconic. You take the most well-known G.I. Joe character ever, and you radically change everything about him except for black suit, ninja sword.
Yeah.
And you expect it to do well? Again, Lorenzo Di Bonaventura needs to go into the sun. And until they stop dragging him around with all these Hasbro Paramount projects, you're just going to get the same results.
Because they think that that's what we see of Snake Eyes is ninja sword, black suit. That's Snake Eyes.
Well,
No,
that's what they see of Snake Eyes.
that's
yeah.
what I mean. And they think, oh, as long as we give them, the Spider-Man outfit for Snake Eyes, as long as he looks like Snake Eyes, they'll eat up whatever. It's like, no, that's not Snake
Nope.
Eyes.
Yep.
At
My-
all.
voting with my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone did. And that's the thing that I've always said. The first time the Mam and I saw that teaser poster after we came home from deployment, and I'm looking at it and I was like, they're going to make that a motorcycle helmet. And I knew it right off the bat because you have to dumb yourself down to the lowest common denominator to think like Hollywood thinks these days. And it's not just G.I. Joe. It's everything now. It's everything. The Marvels was the worst cinematic bomb in history.
Really?
They can't make good, fresh, interesting stuff for the most part anymore. And
Well,
they put
do.
out a movie, and that movie hurt G.I. Joe as an IP more than if they would have just not put it out.
Sure.
Oh, 100%.
If they'd have gone the Batgirl route and said, you know what, just canon, tax write-off.
Take the tax.
Even the beloved Infinity War series that everyone loses their mind over. Oh, it's a Marvel cinematic masterpiece for 10 years. That story was wrote in 1991. It's from a comic book called Infinity Gauntlet. And I get it. Like, there's lots of people, that have not read that story or know what that is. So that's fine. But that's not an original story. Thanos getting the gauntlet?
No.
That's Jesus.
Even
That's
Batman Begins
it's
was
not,
cobbled
but they
from
did
a
the
bunch
same
of
thing
different
to that.
stories.
Yeah.
The end of Batman Begins is right out of the last 3 pages of Batman Year One.
So
Yeah.
why
With
can't
the card and the whole 9 yards.
why can't they just, are you guys ready? Everyone brace. Write new stories.
Get out, Jay.
Whoa, what?
Shut your
Oh,
mouth.
Create
him off the stream. Kick him
something
off the
new.
stream.
Okay,
How
I gotta go. I'm
dare
sorry, I'm
you,
getting kicked off the
sir.
panel. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Right?
Skid Mark is leaving. He's leaving.
No, Skid Mark. Skid Mark's my only friend.
Zero creativity.
Darth Wizzy Wizard sends a $2.79 super chat. Thank you. And says, great show. I hope you still think so. We
Oh,
appreciate you very much.
listen, Wizzy's a great guy.
Yep.
I know he is.
He's super open-minded. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know
he's
he is.
good. Yeah.
Oh, man. Mython the Python, my man.
Woo.
$20 super chat. Thank you. Stop it. Says, so it sounds like innovation, new IPs, and related media is needed. Do you think new things coming out like Strike Force Alpha with accompanying media is the answer? Or does it need to be completely new like Cyber Ninja Bears?
Let's hear more about the
Mython-
Cyber Ninja Bears.
Mython, thank you for
I'm
the
intrigued.
awesome comment and question, and thank you for the super chat. Now we're going to get to work writing Cyber Ninja Bears.
Cyber Ninja Bears.
First idea, go.
Bears. Bears.
What if they were
Bears.
ninjas?
But not anatomical bears.
Slow down. Ninja. Cybernetic?
I listen, I would say this whole thing started in 2015, 2014, when we saw Han Solo and Chewbacca get on that Falcon again. and he said, Chewie, we're home.
Mm.
And everybody on the internet cried, including myself. Everyone lost their minds.
Look at
And then
Mikey's
it's like,
crying. Look at
wait
him.
a minute. We're on to something here. We're on to something here. These Gen Xers, let's keep bringing back. And then you got it in Ghostbusters. Chad and I have done a whole show on this. But I think, unfortunately, for some reason, our generation wants that more. They want to see Han and all the old guys more than they want something new. I don't get it. I would rather see the Disco Bears or whatever that is. At least that's something brand new. Will it suck? Maybe, but maybe it's great. How are we ever going to know if we don't take chances?
But I think he has a point there. So you have Strike Force Alpha, which is, Matt LaCroix's line. You have Call Sign Longbow, which is Mikey's dad and Troy and those guys, right?
Yeah.
You got Delta 17 and Action Force, right? They're making an Action Force movie. I know for a fact, because we just discussed it on Wednesday, that Bobby is really looking at animation too. So is there stuff out there? Yes. Are there other IPs and new characters and new designs? Yep. With lore, the whole 9 yards. Is it ever going to be like a Real American Hero was in the Sunbow series? No, but it's not supposed to be at the same time. So there is other stuff out there, sure, but we're kind of more like, I appreciate the sentiment and the comment, but it's kind of more about, should these toys be in stores or just go, online?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are new IPs out there.
Yeah, I mean, we are. I mean, I say we as a fan base, but we are doing what we think they should do, and that's use the model, but refresh. Just a refresh. I mean, Call Sign Longbow as a refresh, not so much, right? I mean, they're doing Cold War era for the time being, at least, Cold War era stuff. It's the same idea. It's a little bit of copy paste. It's definitely hitting the nostalgia button, but there's plenty of other people that are moving forward with new IPs and staying modern day and doing exactly what we're saying we wish Hasbro would do.
Yep.
Keeping comic books going, movies and animation, new characters with nods to what we all love.
Yeah.
But who's it appealing to? It's still us.
Still just
right?
us.
There's still hard to outreach to a new generation because small companies can't afford to do the distribution or even the production levels needed to reach out, and distribute to stores and do that kind of stuff. Anything any of these startups are going to be able to do is going to be small shops that be like, yeah, man, that'd be cool. I'll take that on. Or, yeah, if you paint it this way, man, I'll be happy to carry your line. Kids aren't going to those stores either. I mean, maybe they're going to a GameStop, but a GameStop's not going to carry a startup. I mean,
No,
it's
totally
it's still appealing to the same crowd, but it's the crowd that's tired of the shenanigans.
Now, I did order my a few Valaverse packs off of Walmart.com just because
There you
I
go.
could.
Yeah.
But
Did you get them?
yes, I did.
Nice.
Yep. Ted and Aaron over at Hella Dope started carrying 118 stuff, and I bought it all. Right? Because we vote with our wallets and we go after what excites us. And I like those two guys. I mean, they are nice gentlemen. They have a good store, a good business model, and they started carrying 118 stuff, and I supported it.
Yep. But
Speaking
again,
of new IPs,
online.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but again, it's online. It's not, you're not walking into Walmart and I'm going, Valaverse figure. Not
Right.
yet. I mean, that would be kick ass.
But that being said, Yo Toys here in Albuquerque started carrying the RoboForce stuff from Nacelle and Brian Volkweis, and I bought it.
Yep.
Right. So they started carrying RoboForce, and I was like, "Oh, cool! You got the RoboForce stuff. I'll take one of each of them." Done. Yeah. Patriot Force USA, thank you for the $10 super chat and says, "Thanks, guys, for taking my mind off of the upcoming work week this evening. I heard there's a great new figure company launching in 2024." Yep. So if you guys haven't looked into Patriot Force, please by all means go check them out on Instagram. Really cool line that's coming. All real world combat veterans, which I thought was freaking awesome.
Nice.
And
Very cool.
Patriot Force, he is a good dude. He was at Joe Fest. He was right by you, Mikey. Yep. Yep.
All right.
It's a bit of a blur.
Yeah, you had Skeletron and Marauders that way. And,
Yeah.
and you had Sarge, right?
Yep.
Sarge was right on the other side of you.
Right.
And then you had Patriot Force right next to
Okay. And then on the other side of them was Fresh Monkey and Grindhouse.
Fresh Monkey and then Vala. Yep.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Jeff W., the best mullet in the business, sends a $10 super chat. Good to see you, Jeff. Says at 50, I'm having a blast collecting. Nostalgia is about 30 to 50%, but so much new stuff or figures they never made back then. Articulation, fantastic likenesses, accessories, all better than ever. Hi, Chad. Hi, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it scratches your itch, dude, that's rad.
Strike Force Alpha it just showed up in the mail. It's
Yeah, that was
freaking
cool.
awesome.
And you know,
I love
that's
it.
exactly what Mikey was just talking about. Like Call Sign Longbow goes 80s Cold War. You got Delta 17 and Patriot Force, which are kind of in the now. In the Navy is sort of all of the above.
Mhm.
Legends of the Hidden Force is all that ninja stuff, and it's the wink the ninjas from the 95 Joe line that never got made, like Road Pig and Flint. And then you've got Strike Force Alpha, which is futuristic, alien DNA, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
there's something out there for everybody. And again, if 80s GI Joe made in 2024 is your deal, then that's cool too. That wasn't really what we were trying to break down.
I gotta think that if this was at Target at kid level, like they would stop and go, I don't know what that is, but I want it.
Yeah.
It's an alien.
Kind of
I
looks
don't know
like
what it
a
is, but
Mortal
I want it.
Kombat dude. Kind of looks like an army guy. I'm gonna buy him. Sure.
Can you highlight a comment for me after you got a sec there? After you,
Masterson.
Masterson 42. Good to see you, sir. Here's a Chris salute for you. Says, don't say create something new too much. Star Wars episode 7 through 9, for example. Sometimes the story you want to tell is already written. I say create a good and accurate story, then try something all new.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with,
You're not wrong.
following the Hollywood, the tropes, right? I mean, half the action movies out there are basically Seven Samurai, right? Like you're just creating that story over
Yeah,
again.
Kurosawa.
The structure really matters very little. It's the content that we're begging for.
Right.
Like, I don't care how you structure the movie. I just want you to use the stories. We have 40 years of excellent story and character development. You could, if you don't want to write anything new, just do a timepiece. Hey, this was GI Joe 1984.
I always said
You
Joe
take us
should have been
back.
a period piece. Always.
That's
Always say that.
that would be totally fine with all of us if you
Mhm.
can't find a way to adapt it to modern, which is
Well, why did we
absurd.
spend 30-something years bastardizing Timothy Zahn's work? Why didn't you just do Heir to the Empire? They're pretty much doing Heir to the Empire now.
What Filoni is doing right now.
Yeah, but you're not doing Heir to the Empire because you're doing Ahsoka. You're not doing Luke.
No, he's rewriting the Zons because he's the Zon trilogy, except he's putting in his characters now.
Right. Yeah.
Right, so.
And again, that's where we get in the whole self-insert thing. But
yeah,
I was watching a retrospective on like Dark Forces and all the Kyle Katarn trilogy, and I was like, man, that would have been cool. You could have just done the Kyle Katarn stuff too, but except for the whole steal the Death Star plans mission. Gotta take that out, Rogue One. Thank you, Masterson. Good to see you. And let me do one more thing, Jay, and then I'll highlight your comment. Rick Shattered Glass Jazz, thanks for being here, buddy, with the $10 super chat. Says, my positivity, I dig my 6-inch His Tank and Joe Classified line. I love Mondo Motu. I dig
Mhm.
Action Force and where Valaverse is going. I'm excited about Operation Recall. I like Skybound Transformers and Joe Comics.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Totally not.
Nice.
Yeah. I just want to know, like, do people think all this shit should just go online? That's kind of where I'm going. What do you want me to highlight, Jay?
I think I'm being called out here. McMurphy's comment. McMurphy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's here. It's near, I don't know, it's near the middle-ish. Kind of by the bottom.
I
It's
would love to
kinda
see
new.
Hasbro's book.
We who collect G.I. Joe Classified don't want innovation. That comment.
Okay, I'm still looking. There's a lot of comments. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's at 8:30 p.m.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
So 6:30.
Smart ass.
I was like 8:30. There's no way I'm that far behind, man.
It's right by Tydirium hangers.
Bump.
Sending a comment from the future.
Okay, I'm getting there. Talk amongst yourselves. Mikey,
I mean, that's a fair statement. I mean, the guys that are collecting classified probably really do dig the carbon copy of the original stuff. And I think
Sure.
that's cool too. I mean, I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying freshen it up a little bit, put some new stuff into the fold, get us some new IP, and then come out with alternate lines. Like, hey, here's a retro line, here's a new stuff line, or
Sure.
or change scales. It probably won't work because it seems to only work for Star Wars, but I don't know.
Dare to hook that young generation while still giving us plenty of our nostalgic fan service that we love and crave. And I'm looking at you, torpedo that I have over there. Like, yes, I want a 6-inch scaled torpedo, just like
Sure.
I have all my little 3 3/4 guys. But yeah,
All right.
dare
Let's-
to dream
let's-
bigger.
Let's beat this up. Jay, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say thanks for commenting. My name is Jay, by the way, not dude in the Cobra jersey. Thanks. So the Star Wars sequels failed. Do I love them? I loved The Force Awakens, yes, but you're talking about the most beloved film franchise in history being mismanaged by the biggest multimedia company in history. Disney should be put in jail for what they did to Star Wars. Okay. You have J.J. Abrams, love him or hate him, who had a script written by him and Lawrence Kasdan that was constantly changed and scrutinized by whoever was in charge. And then you have 2 sequels where the directors did not communicate because that's all Disney. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm not anti-nostalgia. Okay. I'm just tired of the stuff we love not moving forward when that's all it used to do was move forward. Love or hate the sequels of Friday the 13th. At least it was doing something different. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I want for G.I. Joe. And I would disagree with your comment. And I think that's a very blanket statement to say. We who collect G.I. Joe Classified don't want innovation. That's completely untrue because I used to collect it. And I loved it because Duke had gold pads and he had a communicator here and he had different guns. So that's it. Thanks for the comment.
So
And I'm not calling you out, McMurphy. I'm not. This is not an argument. I'm just. I really. I just wanted to address that stuff because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So thank you for that.
yeah, you're like the biggest freaking Star Wars fan. And that's all well and good. Like McMurphy doesn't know who you are or what you've done or any of that stuff. And that's whatever. We can't expect everyone to know that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right on the sequel trilogy. Johnson was writing episode 8 before he even bothered looking at anything regarding episode 7. The only thing he said to J.J. Abrams was R2 has to go to Luke's planet. And J.J. Abrams was like, okay, because originally it was BB-8. He was like, R2 has to go. Okay. And then J.J. Abrams gave him the treatment for episode 8, and he was like, no, I'm already writing it, and just took it and trashed it, Like, there's
physically
no
in the movie, he had Kylo Ren kill his master, who was built up to be the next emperor, and he physically punched his helmet. And then, like children, JJ's like, "No, we're gonna glue that helmet back together in the next one." It's like, what the fuck is going on with this series? Like, I'm just saying, we all love Star Wars, and I think
Sure.
that those films deserved a lot better. And I feel bad for those actors and the directors, because those guys have been destroyed for years.
And I'm not trying to go off the rails about IPs versus this or that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we who collect G.I. Joe Classified don't want innovation. That's the whole reason why I won't collect Classified. Whereas I'll buy an Action Force figure before I would buy like a Savage Crucible before I would buy a G.I. Joe Classified, because I have low light. I have every character that Classified could ever possibly make. I have every single one of those figures. Why do I want it? It doesn't speak to me. Yeah, maybe I'm not a Classified collector, but I mean, damn, if you can't say I'm a lifelong G.I. Joe guy. But it still doesn't speak to me like Bullet Man speaks to me more than Classified. Eagle Eye Joe does, because it was something different. And when they came up with Real American Hero in '82, you didn't see Bob Purpose and Kirk Bazigian going, let's just shrink down Adventure Team and Bullet Man and just do the Star Wars thing with those guys.
Well, you saw it with Palatoy Wave 1, and then quickly, boom.
Yep.
Let's get into teams.
They shrunk down, right?
They shrunk down
like
those
you and I were
tried
just
and
talking about.
trues. Yeah. And then immediately moving on
Boom.
into new
teams and Red Shadows. Well, the enemy team and the whole 9 yards.
Yes, the enemy team.
Tidarium Hanger, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Says retail is the best way to convert normies to collectors. I would not argue that. I would not argue that at all.
If it's well stocked and available,
and that's one thing that I will always give things like Reaction and Funko, because those are like gateway. They're like the gateway collections. I collect Funko Pops. I collect Reaction figures. Maybe they get some Reaction figures or Funko Pops of an IP that they really like, the look and the design of them, and then they go down the rabbit hole. They're totally gateway collections. So I would definitely agree with that.
Consumers. And that's what we're talking about, right? I mean,
Yeah.
We have product.
Collectors.
It's readily available. It's at a store you're already at. It's just something that G.I. Joe otherwise doesn't seem to be able to do. And I mean, Legends don't either, because I dabble in those too. Neither one of them has product on the shelf, or if they do, it's the same product that's sitting there for forever. I mean, Tiger Force Dusty is still on the Target shelf. Last time I went there, it's like, guys, that one's obviously not going to go turn and burn. Get the new stuff in, or
nope, we can't discount it. It's like, okay,
yeah,
because that's my target. It's like toys discounted. No, that never happens. They never blow them out.
No, sir.
Yours is like toys.
Toys. No. It's the same Reaction figures from 2020. It's still
we have Hot Wheels and Jurassic Park figures. If that's what you're
Hot Wheel, Jurassic Park.
Nailed it.
I like this. I like
doing
this
good on
just
those.
because
yeah,
I'm not a nerd. I collect toys. I'm a nerd. I don't know. Whatever. Geek?
What is a nerd now? Like, is that
to me a nerd is like, I don't. Yeah, what is a nerd and what is a geek? I mean,
geek I've always assumed there was technology involved.
Yeah, if you think of classic representation of nerd, I think of like Revenge of the Nerds, and I think about like pocket protectors and calculators and like that's what I think about with nerd.
Interesting. I thought a nerd was like into this stuff we were into, and a geek was into the stuff we were into, but they didn't take care of themselves. Like they didn't have showers or worry about hygiene or anything like that. That's what I always thought a geek was. But
I mean, a nerd to me is anybody who knows or expresses and knows an absorbent amount of information about one subject matter
a deep
and
appreciation.
Expresses it. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about muscle cars or you're talking about Star Wars. If you can talk at length on that subject, then you are a nerd in that realm.
So we would be pop culture nerds?
Definitely.
Because I mean, I'm a Joe guy, but you like, what do you want to talk about? I mean, because I can talk it.
You
Right.
can,
It doesn't
dude.
matter.
You can absolutely. We could talk any toy line with you, 100%.
Sir Knight Art, born and cloned in Roswell. Chad, how's the toy scene in the queue? The toy scene in Berkeley is pretty damn good, my dude, and thank you for hanging out. Yep. I got a lot of sweet gems in Albuquerque. So yeah, there's some good stuff to be had here, my friend. Yeah. Mikey is right about story. John Wick could have been just standard, but brought new blood to the genre.
Yep.
Michael? Nothing?
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, it's a, and maybe this is a generation thing too, but I still crave story. I still want to know the backstory on characters, and I want to know, you know, a timeline or you know, some kind of information. And I mean, when I was a when we were kids, you had the file card, right? So you got the figure, you got the file card. Maybe you watched the cartoon, and it gave you a little snip, a little, maybe you read the comic book, it gave you a little snip of a story,
Yeah.
and then you went out and you expanded on that. But you had a story. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a generation thing. Maybe that's just something that we care about, and kids aren't really interested in it. I don't know.
Well, not to keep spinning the cats in the dryer on this one topic, but Matthew Matson does have a point. Disney rewrote the stories so they don't have to pay royalties. That's why you get the Mandalorian instead of Boba Fett and Grogu instead of Yoda. Yada yada. Yeah, true. That is true. Yep. Hence,
Yeah,
killing off one
everything
legacy
gets
character
cost
for film.
cost analysis.
Yeah, totally. Cost analysis.
Excuse me.
Rick Dees, I'm not even going to say it, said, I talked with the Patriot Force father and son team at Joe Fest. Very awesome duo. They have a lot of items in the works, not only action figures. Yeah, absolutely.
Nope, I'm sold. Father son duo got me.
Yeah. Arnold impressions?
The Impossible Pile. See what I can do.
Okay. Oh, Will's here. What's up, Will? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Will.
Wilhelm.
What's up, man?
Oh yeah. Did you see McMurphy's? Wasn't sure.
Oh
what your
yeah,
name
yeah,
was.
yeah. Sorry, wasn't sure that it was. Oh, that's okay, buddy. No, yeah. News stories don't seem to be working or selling toys. The old stuff works. We love it. Yeah.
Man, I agree on Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen that. Prince Shizor done right, like real creepy as
Yeah, that
shit,
was
like
great.
in shadow and stuff. Doing his weird pheromone thing to everybody, and he's got Guri, like his crazy cybernetic chick assassin.
This weird pheromone thing.
wafting.
But you gotta make him like Austin Powers, where he comes up and he's just standing there, like getting you with his pheromones, but he does the
Yeah, baby.
Austin Powers thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make you Randy?
Yeah. Yeah, and then Will
It's
says,
not mine.
different isn't always good. Snake Eyes enters the chat. Yeah, we were breaking that down. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the exact kind of thing. I mean, with you have 40 years of what Snake Eyes means and who he is, and you changed the character. I don't want you to change the character. We like those. That's what's keeping us interested. Rewriting characters to where they don't even make sense doesn't jive. I don't like that.
Yeah, where it's just a shell of of
Right.
the
I mean,
original.
and they did it to Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett's taking orders from this chick. Like I thought
Well,
he
now
was
he's like some big
ultimate,
old
like,
softy,
owner
and he
bad.
wants to run Jabba's enterprise. Like,
Dances with wolves.
Fett got no time for that. Fett ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time.
Then I was
for it.
adopted by the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, and then he was like,
It's
"I'm gonna
listen.
teach you how to ride a swoop bike." Yeah,
It's brilliant writing. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's in the Sarlacc pit. He finally escapes. He gets rehabilitated by Tuskens. Learns that hey, maybe there's more to life than bounty hunting. And instead of learning and becoming a Tusken, he goes right back to where he was before. So bad.
Well, and he goes
He's like,
back.
I
to the
learned a
Sar- he
lot.
goes
I'm not
back
going
to
to
the
use it for
Sarlacc
the rest
pit.
of my life.
Yeah.
He goes back to the
Peace out.
Sarlacc pit looking for his armor when he crawled out of it with his armor on.
Cobb Vanth should have
Stop
kept that.
overanalyzing.
He should have kept that armor and donned he was the new Boba Fett. That would have been so much more interesting because that character was interesting. And Boba Fett should have gone with the Tuskens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's just coming from me. I'm not a writer. And I think that's far more interesting than what we got. Anyways, I'm sorry, Chad. We always go back to this.
No, it's all good. And then Rick Shattered Glass Jazz says new ideas get shot down by the folks who don't like change. Yeah, because they know that we're going back to the greatest hits all the time. They have shaped our market so creators are scared to insert new characters.
Which
However,
shareholders
Larry
most of all
Hama's
don't
been
like
doing it, over 300 issues in certain new characters. I mean, you got Agent Helix, a whole bunch of other characters that people are looking at now going, oh yeah, that figure's cool. It's like, well, that figure's been around for a while just because you never saw it.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like this. 6-inch realistic, detailed, articulated Joes like classified are not something we've had. I would argue the articulation because 12-inch Joes had way more articulation. It's not innovation, it's modernization of an old IP, and I love it. That's cool.
I mean, that is definitely the idea that Hasbro is going after with classified. And I'm
But it's not
totally
just classified.
fine
I
with
mean,
it.
look, Black Series, Legends, classified, it's all wash, rinse, repeat. They're all the same bucks, all the same anatomy, same points of articulation, just different window dressing. Same shit. I got it.
But let me find that Cobra eel on the Target aisle. Like, come on. I'm in there for 2 gallons of milk. Leslie's telling me to pick up AAA batteries, and I want to zoom by the boys aisle and be like, and a Cobra eel.
Maybe it's in the fishing department next to the tackle boxes.
See, I'm liking Judge
Could be.
Dredd's energy. I don't collect nostalgia. I buy stuff I like. Right?
That's my collecting
that's
rule.
why I got like
Get what I like.
random ass GoBots sitting on a shelf with my Joes because I like them. You know what I mean? I just like whatever. And I
Felt like a good lyric there. Random ass GoBot sitting on a shelf of stuff. I like it. I thought you were
random
going
ass
for it.
GoBots sitting on a shelf. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Yep. Record it.
I thought he was going to do more of a speed drum there, Mikey.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
He's been doing too much of that off screen. He doesn't want to do it now.
Yeah, I've been busy. Busy. I'm just trying to find more comments we could kind of chitty chat on.
Let's stir up some controversy.
Here's some controversy. Chad is a shill for underoos.
He's not wearing anything under those velour pants. Don't kid yourself.
It's just a very thin...
I'm wearing jeans, my friend.
Whoa! Retired him? What the heck?
Jeans. Oh, what do you think about this? Geek equals extrovert, nerd equals introvert.
That's an
I'm
interesting
sure.
take.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A nerd does cosplay. Man, that hit me right in the feels. I feel
Well, that would
attacked.
take an extrovert. Well, no, that was a geek, right? The geek was the extrovert, so that would be the opposite.
I've been there too. I've been there, Chad. Don't worry.
I don't know what I am. Oh, what about see? Northern Nomad says, what about dorks?
Dweebs. They think he's a righteous dude. Oh, wait, that's Ferris Bueller.
There you go. Gaz. Just put out Megaforce stuff. End of discussion.
You're
That's
not
fair.
wrong.
That's fair.
I really like this comment. Valaverse put out an entire female wave of toys with just a little fiction. You can't be scared to take chances. We
Hell
gotta stick
yeah.
on that.
There's some of my favorite fracking figures. Yep. Just got Gemini. Love it. Even Leslie is getting into, some of the gals on the Action Force squad. She's like, ooh, I like Bloody Pandora. And I'm like, freaking get it. And so she was like, I got it.
Warpath Eclipse has some of the best facial paint apps I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't even collect 1/12 scale stuff, but I got that figure because that is art. And I love toys for the art of toys. Mike
Hard
Joseph, the
stew.
classified QR codes are a good idea for virtual file cards that Hasbro totally botched. Have you guys tried to scan those?
No, I remember watching our good buddy Brian, who did Cobra Commander 788, his early reviews of the classifieds, and he would just go down the symbols and like all these symbols that just don't mean anything. It was just
But
hilarious.
if you scan the QR code, it takes you to a website that
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Are you surprised? Are you
Everybody
surprised?
It's
hanging out
not
here now, if
supported.
you got a box classified figure on hand, scan the QR code with your camera, and it'll take you to a website that has nothing. It's just
The
a blank
minimal
page.
effort, because all these figures for the most part are just redos anyway. They
you.
could have just taken the Hama written file card and put it on the back of
Yeah.
the box, man. You don't even have to write anything new. Just
Yeah, you already own it.
I guess they figure we know what all these characters do anyway. So
Yeah,
How long ago was that where they were doing the QR codes? That's something they're still doing?
yeah, they're still in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mython the Python sends another $20 super chat.
Wow.
Thank you very much. TH has a point. B&M converted people into collectors, but so can conventions. Making it normal, enjoy this stuff is key. Beyond visiting vintage mom and pop shops, I'd rather buy online. At my point in collecting, brick and mortar are a waste of time and gas.
yeah, I would.
Sadly,
I would
becoming the
100% there with you.
And
I
I don't
mean-
want it to be that way because I love
right.
hunting, but it is a waste of time. I agree, 100%.
Yeah, and I
Feel like you're
love
spinning
the
your
mom and
wheels.
pop shops. Mom and pop shops, you know,
Yeah.
they're ran by people who it's just that energy, you know, like you walk in, you know, we're all talking about nerds and geeks and dorks and stuff, but I walk into the three big, you know, collectible toy / comic stores in my town. They all know me because I frequent their stores all the time. They know what I want, they know what I'm into. Hey, you know, they know my first name. I just got this thing in, come check it out. And if they don't have anything I want, I still pick up little $15 GoBots in baggies because it helps keep their lights on and they're good
Yep.
people.
Exactly.
Right? I will always walk out of one of those three stores with something. I don't care if it's a $300 complete G.I. Joe General from 1990 or if it's a couple of cheap ass GoBots, but they're good people.
Same.
And,
So
that-
I'm
that
buying
that's
freaking
one of the
Transformers
camaraderie.
now. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'm
that's-
in the
great.
I'm in the fucking
Yeah.
you
I was
know,
like, oh, you don't really have anything, Joe, you know, that I want, but I'm
I
like,
guess I'll buy that masterpiece
oh,
Thundercracker you got over
not
there.
even. It's like,
Uh,
is that a G1 Grimlock? That was my brother's thing. He was younger than me, and I'm like, why not get that? And again, mom and pop shop. I'm like, I want to throw a couple $100 your way because I love you all, and I want you to stay where I can go and find toys in a physical place.
Yep.
You know, pick it up and it's complete. I'll take it. What would Trump say to all this?
Let's find out.
World made of cardboard. Thank you for inquiring. My main takeaway is people need to
shit.
stimulate the economy and purchase the toys. It doesn't matter so much who you purchase them from, although I do advocate purchasing from mom and pops because there's the salt of the earth. They're great people. They're all great people. I love them all dearly. Purchase the toys you want to purchase from the people you want to purchase them from. Support small businesses. Support the economy. Make toys great again in 2024.
Amen. There you go. Hey.
Love it.
Perfect. I needed it. Yeah. So anyway,
I'll see you. You can't follow that.
You can't follow it. Yeah. And scene.
there's no reason. But when did Chad start wearing pants? It was probably
Winter.
when I was a toddler.
Winner.
Before that, he was wearing shorts.
And what's up, Daniel?
Yeah. Good to see you, Daniel. The wife and the kiddo and I were out today. So is that cheating? Because normally I'd be wearing like some kind of joggers or sweatpants or something. Yeah, something like that. Are we noobs?
Noobs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Will, You got to type that with zeros, dude. Right?
What a noob. Chad, you totally pwned him.
Pwned. PWN 3D.
I like that. Can we get T-shirts that say "Make Toys Great Again"? Oh, that's such a good idea.
Chad,
That's
get on
such
it.
a good idea.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Do
All right.
it.
Wow.
Who asked that?
The very bottom comment, the newest one.
There's a lot of freaking comments.
Sorry, it's Blue Serendipity.
Yeah, Blue.
At the very bottom.
She's got a
Deep
great
thoughts.
idea.
How many people watched Reacher season 2 and didn't know they were watching G.I. Joe Renegades? Think about it. Damn it.
That thought did occur to me.
That's a great.
See, I
You
have
know
not
what?
watched that
I
yet.
liked it.
What is a noobs?
Yeah, the really great Toyomic displays, the really great stores are ran by collectors. Shop local. Yeah,
Yep.
you should.
And I mean, that
Um,
is the beauty of the mom and pop shops, is because those are people that still care about what they're selling. Used to, you could go into a toy aisle and you could end up talking to somebody about toys, whereas now it's just a job. It's just you're just working to the
Mhm.
end of the day, you know. But you go into toy stops, you still get the camaraderie, you still get the shared experience, and I mean, that's the original Facebook group, right? That and conventions,
Sure.
that was where you went to talk about like-minded people that liked the same subject.
Yeah.
We're losing it. We're losing it because my generation doesn't give a shit about stores.
But
They
again,
don't want to
that's
go to stores. They don't want to talk to people. Some of them do. I'm not saying all, of course, but they just want little interaction with people, right? So you don't
Well,
want to
yeah.
go to the store. You don't want to do that. You order Hy-Vee or Walmart online for your groceries. You don't want to deal with the people. Totally get it.
playing
I
with
love
toys, going to toy stores, going to conventions, meeting other people, talking about random stuff. All of that is like building interpersonal skills, creating problem solving skills within yourself and other people, building community, friendships, bonds, things like that. Like we're all friends. All of us are friends. We're all real life friends because of this shared stuff that we're all into.
Because they're dollies.
Because
the
we like Skidmark. Skidmark is our friend. Look at Skidmark. He's still to the end. Yeah, Skidmark. Anyway, Blue Serendipity. Can we get a T-shirt that says "Make Toys Great Again"? Yes. How about that?
Such a great idea.
I will get up a shirt that says
Good
"Make
thinking,
Toys
Blue.
Great Again." 2024.
Probably going to be made in China.
Oh,
Chad, get the ones that are made
Or
in
Vietnam.
Bangladesh.
But I still got to finish putting up that "Never Go Full Classified" T-shirt.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So okay, I will get the "Make Toys Great Again" and
You can
full.
unveil it when we do the Make Toys Great Again cast.
Okay, yeah.
When we
We'll,
do the show.
we'll do
Dude,
that. For sure.
I still love the GI Joe classified, and then the first thing you see is their actual real name. They might as well put their address where they lived.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna
Funny.
gaslight all the Joes. Here's their
Yeah.
first name, last name, social security number, DOD ID number.
Yep. It's
We're going to
classified.
put his last name on his plate.
But they're
here.
highly specialized.
I
and no
don't
one
think
knows.
you know what classified means.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable. Never
There's that word again.
What does he say? Never get involved in a land war.
With the Sicilian.
Serious.
Oh no,
Wait,
that's
never
death on the
go-
line.
Sicilian when death is on the line.
Iocane powder.
Oh, I like
Anybody want
this
the
one.
peanut?
All your base are belong to us noobs. That's old school. All your base are belong to us. Yeah. Liquid Identity 101 says if either of those shirts could have Falcon's face on it, like the Matt Damon classified Falcon.
Oh yeah, the best figure
Because
ever
the
made.
Never Go Full classified has Sergeant Lincoln Osiris on it. Yeah, I've got the shirt.
What do you
made.
mean, you people?
Whoa!
I'm the dude
I'm
disguised as a dude
Whip us
portraying
up some
another
collard
dude.
greens. Ha!
Get some crawfish out the patty, y'all. Huh.
Ain't nobody been doing nothing with no cloven hoofed animal. Now, if Mr. Portnoy's feeling a bit peakish, what were you going to say, Jay?
Chad, there's a Darth Wizzy Wizard comment that starts with question.
What's that one?
Which bear
it's
is
up.
best?
Starts with question. Is there too much whining in the online collectors channels community at all? I think that's a good. It's a good
Oh, you
question
mean
to answer.
this one follow-up question?
Nope. One. Keep going. About 5
Jesus,
more.
the questions.
So many
Right there.
Is there too much whining in the online collectors channels?
I don't know. We need more
Community.
bourbon. Plus one.
Whoa.
I mean, that's good.
Sour
What do you
mash.
guys think? I have my opinions. I really want to hear what the three of you guys. I know what Chad's more, Mikey and Pete. I want to know what you guys think. I know what. I know
Why?
what
Because
you
I yell in my car?
I
May have something to do with it. Your opinions aren't secret.
No.
I guess what's your definition of whining? Creative, constructive criticisms? Is that whining? Making higher demands out of these billion-dollar corps? Is that whining?
Yeah, I think the word whining is a little broad.
I would say there's too much hatred in terms of if we have different opinions, you get
Oh,
blasted.
definitely.
You get
Yeah,
blasted for it,
you're
right?
you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, and Star Wars is one of those things I stay far away from now because that stuff just you get nuked in Star Wars
Mhm.
groups. So I would say that there's less tolerance for it's like you have to think exactly how I do, and if you don't, we can't be friends anymore. That's the
Consensus,
thing that's
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, to me.
It's the consensus of it that creates it.
Hmm.
Somebody had posted. I can't remember who it was on Instagram. Anyway, he's a Brit, and he was. He had a picture of the sail barge, and it was like, "Please make this again."
Oh,
And
I saw that.
The comments that were just nasty under that. Just
Ruin the whole idea of Haslabs and this, that.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm like-
you do understand that they just open the vaults and resell these Haslabs, and they're on Big Bad Toy Store, and they're on like Asian third world distributors all over the place, right?
yeah.
Like
the
the
fact
whole
that
Haslab idea is long busted. So
Hold
please,
on, hold
by
on.
all means.
Hold on. So someone just posted a picture of the sail barge and they're like, please make this again. I didn't get a chance to get it. I really want this.
because I live in
the
England
UK
/
or whatever.
Europe,
Okay.
anywhere else.
He got
And
nuked for it. Like people were making fun of him for it.
Left and right.
This is what
Oh,
I'm talking
just
about. That's ridiculous. That's
absolutely
so stupid,
cruel
dude.
about
It's a
it.
freaking
Like, well,
toy. It's a toy.
It's a toy made by
Like-
a billion-dollar corporation who could give a crap about us. I mean,
Who
honestly.
just resold a bunch of Unicrons and all sorts of stuff.
No,
didn't they?
no, that didn't happen.
I guess I would say I don't understand why you would want to like squash someone's joy and even waste time by commenting on that. Like who cares? Like,
Well,
why
it was
would
that
you-
severe gatekeeping of. I mean, that's what it was when it was. If you wanted it, you would have found a way to get it.
And that
it's like,
word is why I
That's-
freaking hate the word community, because community indicates that there's like some kind of barrier to entry, like a gate, and then you get the shit like you were just saying, Pete, where people are like, no, fuck you, you didn't
I
get
mean,
in
this
on that
was-
when they were there before.
okay, I was blessed to be able to go to Star Wars Celebration in London. And what was at the frickin' Hasbro booth, along with Indiana Jones and all
Katana.
that? Yeah, the frickin' katana set in this really cool desert setup. And I'm like, if that isn't a slap in the face, I'm
Of
going
all
on
these
Clark
people.
Griswold
Yeah.
to everybody here. I'm like, you've got some balls to
Right,
put that.
'cause
Showing up
can't
at
edit,
Wally
right,
World,
right.
Hey, you all never got this.
candy.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, park's closed.
Yeah. And I'm like, re-release that son of a bitch, even if it's more,
Yeah.
whatever, make it
What does
available
it
to
matter?
everybody.
What does it
Yeah,
matter?
why? It's a toy.
So my take on the whining deal, I guess.
Oh God, Mikey's gonna start whining now. Here we go.
I don't know why. Oh no.
What a dork! What a nerd!
I never learned to read.
It was the men with one arm.
So I am all for groups of people getting together to discuss whatever they want. Positive, negative, I don't care. You're finding like-minded people to conversate a familiar topic with. I don't care if it's negative. I don't care if it's a hiss tank forum. You're going into a room with like-minded people and you are complaining or praising whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you're getting on a live stream and you're talking about something that you feel passionately about or have an opinion about, because we're all able to have our own opinions. The community word is just a word for a group of people that have gathered together to share some space, right? For us, our community is toys, but that community is broken up into several smaller communities, if you will, for people that are just into O-ring stuff or just into modern stuff or classified, or maybe you're just into the comic books and you don't care about toys at all. The community is just a similar space for everybody to enjoy or hate on one thing. It's never mattered to me if you're in a group to talk shit on something or you're in a group to talk about how great something is. You went into a group to talk about one thing. I've never cared what the topic was. Now, when somebody posts something and a bunch of people pile on and want to be dicks about it, that I have an issue with, because you guys are in a shared community. If you guys want to talk about how dumb this guy is for wanting something that he was unable to get, then separate and talk about that amongst yourself. Why do you have to take it like right at on the guy's post? Like, that was a reasonable question. Like, hey, yeah, I'd like to get this. Can we get that reissued? Like, or whatever the case may be.
That's like that.
There's no reason to pile on that guy's post. That's his post. But you don't have to sabotage somebody else's thing because you don't like it. That's where I have a problem with it. But whining, if that's what you guys want to do and that's what that that group is for, whine away. I mean, what's the problem?
I never understood pissing on someone's parade. Do you know what I mean? We could talk about Chad hates Kiss. Kiss is one of my favorite bands, but that doesn't mean we're not friends. He makes fun of Kiss all the time. But it's just jokes between us, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't, the mentality in a lot of these groups is, if you don't think exactly the way I do, I hate you, and I will make sure that all my peers hate you too. And it's just like, dude, like, I don't want any part of that, man. I'm just here to talk about little dollies.
You remember when the Snake Eyes movie came out and people are like, that's not Snake Eyes. They're like, you're a racist. It's like, well, whatever. It's not because it's Henry Golding. It's because he won't shut up the whole movie. He doesn't get disfigured. This, that. But no, because you don't like it, racist. You have no argument to make whatsoever. So you just start hurling that word, that overly used word at people. It's like calling people haters or toxic. It's like, man, all of that is tired. Just move on. Like, yes, I don't collect Marvel Legends. Never have, never will. Have I read a lot of Marvel comics? Absolutely. Do I know a lot of the Marvel lore? Sure. But they don't speak to me. I don't collect Classified. I don't collect Black Series. I have a few of each of those, but that doesn't make me a collector or a consumer of those things. I don't give a crap about them one way or the other. I hate them. I think they're useless. They're like doorstops or widgets to me. Am I going to say someone's dumb for buying that? Absolutely not. And anybody in this chat can attest to the fact that, like, someone will randomly send me a Facebook message. Like Neil Temple the other day was like, oh man, I drove like 3 hours to get this snow job and I did a photo shoot of him in the backyard. And I'm like, dude, that's rad.
Nice. Yeah.
It's
right?
just about
I didn't go, Neil, you're stupid and dumb and you wasted your gas and your life and you're a loser. No, I was just like, dude, that's rad. Cool.
Right, and that's because you have relationship with that person. It's not just this cold interface and you cheapen it.
Yeah.
You're invested in that person.
It was a fugitive reference. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I don't, whatever. Can't we all just get along? Rodney King, circa, what was that, 1994, 5?
Sadly, no.
I mean, yes, we can. We can, but people have to choose.
Largo, friends don't let friends buy Funko Pops. It's good advice, kid.
I'm not there yet. Oh. But again, see, I don't care. Oh, look at this. Look, see? I'm a scalist. That's what I am.
Little size queen.
I almost had Chad LaForce, aka Pendragon Designs. I almost had him design a shirt that says size matters. You know, like
Yeah.
the Yoda thing with a 12-inch Joe, a 6-inch Joe, and a 4-inch Joe. But whatever. David Andrews. Yep, thinking like the hive mind and the majority rules, and I am not a fan of that.
If someone said, I
Critical
lost the
thinking.
comment, but they said it was basically like bullying, which I would agree. Like just to have hatred, just to spew out like that. No one has time for that stuff, man. And you'll notice, well, my community, that doesn't exist. And I know here, Chad doesn't put up with that crap. So
Nope.
yeah, you just got to
I don't-
stomp it out, man.
I don't care what you like or what you're into or where you want to buy your stuff. And that was kind of the whole basis of this conversation. Like, do you want to see Walmart and Target and Walgreens and GameStop continue? Okay, GameStop maybe not so much because that technically falls under fan channel. But do you want to see like the big two brick and mortar retailers, not to include Toys R Us because that's a toy store? Do you want to see them keep going with this stuff, or do you want to see like, you know what? Let's just pull it all back in house. Mattel can put their stuff up on Matty Creator. Hasbro can put all their stuff on Pulse, even though it's third party, and distribute it to the online e-tailers, and there you go. There's all your toys. Because again, for me, I just want to know because I'm interested in what people's thoughts are. It doesn't affect me.
Nothing will take the place of going to a toy store, even a big corporate Walmart, and going down that toy aisle, like Pete was saying earlier, and just seeing the beautiful selection. Nothing will ever change that. But the fact of the matter is, right now in this climate, it's been that way for many years. Okay. Is it going to change? I don't know. But if you want to get some of these toys, you know, you could continue to do things the old school way and maybe come up short changed, as I have a lot, or you can order them online. I mean, do whatever makes you happy. That's really all that matters. You know what I mean? If you still want to go out there, go out there. It's totally cool.
Is this the comment you were talking about, Jay, about bullying?
Media clash? There's mentality and people get gratification out of that. It's literally what bullying was. Yes. Yep.
And it still is an example of bullying. It doesn't matter if that's what it was when you were growing up. It's still the same thing. Like you could go into any toy group, post, just pick the toy group, pick the IP, pick the scale or whatever. Go into a toy group and say, I don't like that figure. And then just wait.
No.
Just count down 10, 9, 8.
Dude, I've dropped a few of my videos in these, and I don't do it anymore because I would go back and it's terrible. Like, don't put your trash garbage on this page, and it's like, oh my god, I just reviewed like Beachhead or whatever. I'm like, and you feel like it's like, okay, I'm sorry, like it's crazy. I don't even do it anymore, man. I won't even go on those forums anymore.
Yeah, like you don't have the special token that allows you to post in that group or whatever.
I don't want the special token because no one is going to tell me that I'm less of a Joe fan than they are, or Star Wars or whatever. No one's going to tell me that. And those are the people that we don't want around. That's my thoughts. I don't associate with those kinds. So.
And here's an observation. I post every single one of the videos that I produce in the 3POA podcast group. I'm not part of 3POA, right? I'm not one of those dudes. I'm not one of those hosts. It's not about Valaverse. But you know what? Great reception. But that's supposed to be the most toxic fucking Facebook group in the world, full of a bunch of haters, right? I never get shit. I never get shit for it. But if you post a video about like, oh, I got this custom updated cool mast for my USS flag in the Admiral Club group. Oh man, no, because you got a 3D printed aftermarket mast, you're going to get wrecked.
Listen, I'm glad I don't have this insider knowledge to all these groups. I'm not smart enough to
stay away from
I don't care, man. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the way it should be. I think we're just giving power to these people, right? You know, like, I don't know. It's just silly to me.
Yeah.
It is, but I mean, if you go into a group and you see behavior that you don't approve of or you don't want to be a part of, you leave the group, right?
Exactly.
There's no sense in getting the group shut down, right? Because they were saying stuff you don't like. You just remove
No.
yourself from it.
Yeah, who
This
cares?
isn't for
Yeah,
me.
worry about
You guys
you.
can
And
have your
don't
group.
announce that you're
I'm gonna
leaving,
do
please.
my own thing.
Just
I
leave
don't like it
quietly.
either.
Don't announce it.
Do people do
People are
that?
gonna rip on you.
They say,
People
just so
definitely
just so you guys know, I'm going back to Mar-a-Lago. I'm leaving this toy group.
I'm going back
Everybody
tomorrow.
here. I can't do it as well as Mikey. I'm sorry.
I love when you try, Jay. I love when you try.
It's like a. Well, I won't say it. It's not as good as yours.
Yep,
I'm not
KB
doing
was
it.
cool.
I miss KB Toys. That was a cool.
I
Oh,
do
that's
miss
a.
KB.
We
Small
never
but
had that in
mighty.
Canada. I never had that in Canada.
KB
But
was great.
yeah,
They would
KB
just have
was-
like big artificial islands of boxes just in the middle
Yeah.
of the store. And then you always had the table right in the door,
dump
the
bin.
table of all the discounted stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like it was the bins, but usually at KB it was like that flat white table, and they just like they would just dump some shit in the table. Yeah,
That's some
I miss
George
KB
Aiken stuff
Toys,
right
too.
there. You know, it's like, I got 80 Cobra Troopers for £1 each.
Yeah. He's like,
I
"What
love
do
that
you need a
story.
carded mouton? They're like 15 pounds over here. I got 1 million of them." Yep. Oh, I kind of like this question. That's a decent question. Is social media killing the hobby?
I
don't
think only if you let it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. See, I was going to say yes and no.
If you let it bother you and you let it affect you, sure.
Well, it's I agree with you guys for sure, because it's it's a matter of perception and what side you're on. On one hand, these startup guys would not be able to do what they're doing without social media.
Right.
This
Neither
social,
would the three of
social
us.
me-
Yeah.
No, social media, like it or not, this is how you're getting product in front of consumers.
Sure.
Because the brick and mortars aren't doing it, social media has taken that role up, and yeah, it's much bigger. So you're getting way more of the negative stuff than you used to see, right? Hasbro would get, letters and stuff saying like, this figure's dumb, or whatever it was. I don't like this figure, he's violent, whatever. Now you're getting it on the social media. So with it being just as much of an asset, it's also contributing to the bad side of it, for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't have to partake in the negative side of it, right? Like when
Yeah,
I would agree.
I worked at McDonald's for 6 years, right? That was my first gig. I was a manager, and in manager
Respect.
training, they always told you that people will come to you with a negative comment. They will almost never come to you with a compliment. So part
Right.
of your role as a manager was walking the floor and asking people how your experience was. And if it was good, they paid the compliment, and if it was bad, you were going to get that anyway. So
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
negative stuff will always be there unwarranted. But the positive stuff is so hard to find. Without social media, we wouldn't know what was good and what was bad. You wouldn't be able to feel it out. It just the net would be so small. So while it is maybe contributing to the downfall, it is also contributing to the renaissance of action figures that we get right now.
Look at how smart you are. You're such a smart, well-spoken young man. Look at
Tom,
you.
He didn't even
Look
use
at that
the
beautiful
fancy
smile.
accent or anything.
Yep, he's definitely not from our generation. That's for sure.
So pretty. I miss you. Hey, is anybody noticing fucking Space Ghost
Cattail.
like photo bombing me?
Yeah.
Is anybody seeing that? He just keeps walking by. You know what, Mikey? That was perfectly put.
Thank you.
The only thing that I could really add to that is in my profession, which by the way is ending on the 28th of March. Thank you. Actually, I started terminal leave yesterday. Our whole thing is always, we train our replacements, and part of that is whenever someone subordinate to me would come to me with a problem, do you have a solution? Because if not, you're just kind of complaining. It's kind of one of those, it's a give and take thing. Like I'm here to address people's problems, but do you have a solution? Do you have any kind of input? Is there anything positive that you can bring with that negative, or are you just bitching to bitch? Sort of a thing. But
I understand that completely. Going back to McDonald's, how I became a manager was I had become so sick of how things were done. Oh, I like that.
What the?
The store was being ran terribly, and instead of just rage quitting or something like that, I wrote up a document and said these are the things I have problems with, and this is how I think we can change them. And the owner was like, "You want to be a manager, kid?" And I was like, "No, but I'll do it."
You want to make
If
an extra
that's how
dollar
these
an hour,
changes are going to happen, I'll do it.
Yeah,
you want to get off the fryer?
I like money. I'm a fan of it.
Extra
Good
dollar an
burgers.
hour for 10 times the stress. You can go, Mikey.
Yeah.
Who's the big
100%.
winner? Mikey's the big winner right there.
Not Top Goons here. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
What up?
He owes everyone punch and pie.
Give it to me.
Vickman's here all the way from Mexico. What's
Hey,
up,
Vickman?
Hey,
What's up,
you,
brother?
dude?
Ooh.
How's it going?
Same stuff here in Mexico, just in Spanish. Yeah,
Aye.
that's the thing.
See.
Quentin, CubeTube, what's up, brother? Says no matter what you do or which you do, positive or negative, there's the you're a shill guy and the you're whining guy. It's the same thing, them placing themselves above the person who's talking.
Yep.
Now we're all about labels. All about labels. You can't just be into what you're into. If you're into something different than me, then you're wrong. But I mean, that's current climate. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, if you have an opinion that is different than mine, then now you're my enemy. There's
Yeah.
And
common ground is so hard to reach now.
That's why I try to stay consistent with these are my opinions. They're just my opinions.
Sure.
I don't care what your opinions are. The only thing I care about, don't bring your shit to my porch like I need to validate what you think, because I honestly don't care what you think, and that's okay. Like, I don't care that the three of you guys like Kiss. Totally cool. But none of the three of you say, Chad, you're stupid because you don't like Kiss.
No, we have
that's
a
the
separate group for that.
And isn't that weird too, Chad? Because we have to start off that sentence by saying, and how many times do you hear me say it on each show? This is just my opinion. This is not fact. I say that all the time because you have to say that now. Because if you don't say that, then you just get roasted.
Exactly. Like,
Force Awakens was a
Just my
great
opinion.
movie. If I didn't start that off by saying, in my opinion, it would be like my screen would catch on fire. Like, it would be crazy.
G.I. Joe is the greatest toy line in the history of toys.
Actually, that is incorrect.
Actually, that's just my opinion. Thank you very much. Mark Belomo said so in the 3rd edition hardback, which I have right here. Thank you.
I have one framed and one on the shelf.
Ooh. Judge Dreads is having an opinion hating. Fuck no.
No.
Moving on.
It'd be so
No.
it'd be so
Absolutely
boring
not.
if we all like the same stuff. And
God.
Chad and I talk this.
Be robotic
talk about
automatons.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. Why G.I. Joe in particular is so great, because there's 500 characters, give or take.
Yeah.
And everyone
rich.
apart from the main 5 always has, like, I'm a Falcon guy. He likes low light. Everyone has somebody different that they like, right? It's so great.
There's even some weird people out there that think Big Boa is cool.
Oh, shut your lips. Shut your lips. Boa rock.
Some weird people.
This is coming from the guy who has skid mark. That's it. You're canceled. I'm out. I hate you're kicked out of my forums. Whatever that is.
He's going to announce he's
Whatever
leaving
that is.
now.
Yes. And I'm unsubscribing.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
I was
that's
just actually having this conversation with
ultimate threat.
Patrick Strauko this week about you're friends with people. Rarely do you agree on everything. Like, I don't think I have ever had a close friend that I would do anything for. You call me 3 a.m., say you got a flat tire and you need somebody to take you. I'm there, dude. I got you. It doesn't matter that we have different opinions on things. I cannot imagine how boring life would be if everybody just liked the same crap and hated the same stuff.
Yeah. I've said
I'm not
numerous
into
times, I like to surround myself with people be it, you know, on live streams and discussions or just in my everyday life, who don't have the same opinions as me, who don't have the same tastes and likes as me, because
Absolutely.
it keeps me genuine, it keeps them genuine, and you know, it's just always honest interactions because I'm not trying to impress you at all.
And you may learn something. You may see something from a different point of view. Like it's realistically it's
Lilith.
times are tough. 2005 was a different time.
Gotta
Okay,
make the McDLT, keeps the hot side hot.
Keeps
gotta
going,
drop
son,
the
go.
McChickens, but not too many because they won't cook right. I mean, the different opinions keep it in check, keeps you learning, and for me, I think that is one of the most important things we can do with life is to keep learning and keep expanding knowledge and different perceptions and point of views. Like to me, that is what I hold dear is this person has like one of my best friends is a pharmacist. He has a completely different perspective on everything than I do. We bond over comics and stupid crap.
Mhm.
Tight friend.
James Williamson, what's up, dude? Good to see you.
Hello.
And we forgot somewhere down the line too how fun it is to debate people in a healthy way. I take it back to the music thing in high school where it was I was defending Kiss and Motley Crue and bands like that, and my buddies were into like NoFX and Pennywise, and it's like no, this is why Eric Singer is a better drummer than I forget the guy's name from NoFX, but you know what I mean. And it would be fun to go back and forth, and at the end of the day, we both listen to the same. I listen to NoFX, he listens to Kiss, but it's like I'm trying to tell you why Eric's a better drummer, he's trying to tell me vice versa. And then at the end of the day, we still hang out. Right? Like what happened?
Imagine
to
that.
I relate very heavily to that, Jay, as somebody who grew up with a dad that is very into music and has a very, very broad taste. I listened to shit my friends didn't even know existed. My friends weren't listening to doo-wop. They weren't listening to Kiss. They didn't know who Eric Clapton was.
Right.
And they were listening to country. And at that time I hated country. But that was the beauty of it. Like, you know, and then both of us, you know, would be listening to Ludacris or something because, you know, those were the days. But we both brought a different perspective and a different flavor. So, you know, we're out at a tailgate party. That playlist is going to be revolving around some wild stuff because we're all so different.
And you also don't know why some characters or bands are that person's favorite. Maybe they heard that song like, you know, when their mom was sick, or maybe they got that figure from their mom, personal experiences. And
like
no
every
matter
time
what
I
you
hear More
say-
Than the Feeling, I think about my dad when I was a kid
you
and like
go.
the
And no
his
matter
Lincoln
what,
Continental that had like an 8-track player and an AM radio. Yeah.
and it's like no matter someone can, oh, Falcon is the worst Joe, he's the worst character. I don't care what you say because you have no idea what that character and figure means to me, right? I think we kind of lost that somewhere.
Agreed. What do you guys think about this?
A lot of ToyTubers today know nothing about toys, and it's all annoying. I don't know. I watch a lot of them, man. They're all like, I watch, you know, Michael
they're all-
Murphy, I watch Retro Blasting, I watch all those guys, man. I think they're all great. I don't know.
I'm sure there's a lot that just review stuff that comes out and it's just hot and it gets likes, but man, there's amazing content out here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's kind of the
find
direction
new
that
all the
comment
time.
is going in. Like,
I listen, I do toy stuff too. Chad and I mostly do it on Fridays now, but I don't know everything. I don't care. I get the comments actually that Joe was released 84, not 85. It's like, okay, thanks. Like, I don't care, man. I just talk about what I like. So.
Kiss does suck.
DJ.
Oh, well, let me tell you something. You haven't seen the Kiss hologram concert, baby, coming to you this year.
That's right.
Somebody sounds uptight on a Sunday night. And eat my love gun, bud.
So all I gotta say about like the ToyTubers thing is, if it's entertaining to you, watch it. If it's not entertaining to you, don't watch it.
Yeah.
That's it. Man. That's it.
Yeah.
Just
And there's
entertainment.
every day, if not every week, I'm finding new channels that because of social media and I can interact with all my friends, they're like, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like, the hell you say? I didn't even know that channel existed. You know, check them out. They've got a long playlist. And you're okay. You know, be it diorama building or photography of action figures. I mean, I'm like all over the freaking map with the toy tubers.
Sure.
That's awesome.
This
And-
is the dreaded comic Destro alternate color and Breaker 2-pack. This is
Bunch
the
of-
Breaker
make
that
yourself
comes
big.
with the gum bubble,
Yeah, it's the best.
not
one.
the one that came with the Ram Cycle. Even though in the Ram Cycle box it shows the damn gum bubble, but it only comes in this set, and that's why I left this one carded. Yeah,
Make yourself big and
who
do that
bought the
again.
Ram Cycle thinking that he would have the bubble gum? This guy right here. He opens it when he gets home. There's no bubble gum. I hate
and
everything.
I did the exact same thing, and that's why when you told that story, I was just cracking up. I was like, "Damn it! I did the same thing like 6 months ago."
Well, they put the gum bubble on the picture, right? So you
Yeah,
figure
on the Ram, when you flip it over, it shows them on the Ram Cycle with the gum bubble, but it only comes right there. There it is.
so great, so great.
Some bitch. Your
Good
mark-
I
stuff.
actually spend most of my time now on YouTube, like when I'm not doing stuff, like watching other YouTubers, because I would rather watch something that's not super polished and just hear
Mhm.
people speak from the heart, right? So I don't know. I think like what Pete said, it's great to just surf around on YouTube and who knows what you find, right?
Darth Wizzy Wizard is asking, is civilized conversation a discussion lost in general, not just in the toy fandom? I find it more in the younger millennials, Gen Z.
It's a lost art.
Individual results may vary. That's a term that I love to use. Individual results may vary. Because
As a millennial, I can say that very little of the millennials that I encounter would be willing to debate a topic or just casually conversate about something, just in general. Like,
at the same time, I don't even care for the debate or the discussion. Like, I am well known for just saying that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows I'm just gonna be. You could be like, oh man,
Yeah.
I got this.
All right.
I got that Monstar, and I got this, and I got that, and I got the Super 7 Ultimate. That's cool. Like, what the hell do I care? You know, I don't care one way or the other. Like, if you're into it, I'm here listening to you. That's cool. Whatever. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
makes sense.
that's cool.
Oh,
That's
thank
rad.
you.
Right on. Kiss sucks. That's cool.
hurts.
So we went about 40 minutes into Hella Dope show, and they have articulated Ninja on tonight. So oops. That being said, I like this comment. There's no goal to great conversation. The conversation is the goal.
Nice. I like that.
Yes.
100%. And that's one thing I love about toy shows. You could be
yeah.
So we went to the Southwest Toy Mania, and I got that awesome Spy Troops Cobra playset, the one where Shipwreck, you put all the Cobra Commander crap on him, sealed. I got my 100% complete Death Star. I got a couple of Aliens vehicles. I got the Street Fighter Devastator down here, you know, aka not Snowcat. And I'm walking out with all of these boxes, and I just have this massive stack of boxes that I'm just holding. Everybody I walked past, it didn't matter what kind of collector they were all like, yeah. You know, people were just like, they were just stoked for me that I got all these scores as we walked out, and people are like, score. Like,
That's what it's
exactly.
all about, right? Like you said, how many
Absolutely.
times you get messages where it's like, hey man, I got this new Inhumanoids piece that I needed. And whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. The point is you're happy because your buddies are happy.
Yeah.
And you're sharing that joy. You're
Exactly.
sharing that experience. Yeah.
And that's all I want around me is people who just sharing the love and the pursuit of toys and these IPs. And I don't care if you're a Legends person, I don't care if you're a Mondo person, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And I'm friends with all those people who make all those lines, and I'm like, I don't buy your shit, but that's cool. You know what I mean? It's just that's
Definitely.
simple.
Yeah.
Well, and definitely on the independent guys, the small guys that are just starting. I'm excited to see you guys succeed. I mean, it doesn't matter if I support the line or if I have any interest in it at all. I
Yeah.
think it's awesome that you're chasing a dream and
Yep.
you have something to you're bringing something to the table. I think that's amazing. You could be gluing dildos to skateboards. Good for you, man. If that's your dream,
Oh
go
my
for it,
God.
man. I don't want to buy one, but dude,
What
if
a
that's your
liar.
thing,
I think my
go,
internet's
bro.
freezing.
Would that give new meaning to the term bombing the hill?
Oh,
I so wanted you to say gluing dildos to C3POs. Like, please say that.
Oh. Okay, somebody should do
The infamous
that, though,
goldenrod.
'cause that would be an awesome
Anywho,
Pop
thanks
tart.
for that, Mikey. Judge Dredd says, I'm new to this channel and just subbed. Thank you so much.
all right.
And now he just
He said, "You're
unsubscribed.
welcome. You're welcome."
Judge Dredd, I stream every Wednesday and Sunday, man, 7 p.m. Eastern, and thank you for hanging out.
I'm also not usually a part of it, so usually it's not me. It's Chad and somebody else.
Chad just attempted exit stage left on his own stream. Yeah. And then look, James Lucas brings it all the way back around to the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Cyber Ninja
Yeah.
Bears with dildo skateboards.
That's the mail away.
Yeah.
That's the mail away.
The mail
Think
away.
about the playability.
Deluxe version.
Get your dildo board points. Cut them out. Mail away for your Cyber Ninja
Send
Bear.
them in. Get you a free
Target
one.
exclusive.
Target exclusive.
Mail away dildo board. You want to be dope like the other kids on the block? You better clip them points, boy.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Jay, what's going on with you, man? Where can people who don't know you, the dude in the Cobra,
The dude in the
They could find him in the drugstore aisle getting cold.
Yeah,
getting
like cold medicine.
yeah, I'll get some cold medicine. You can find me on YouTube at Jay Bartlett if you guys are into video games and toys. That's what I do. I stream Wednesday through Sunday, and I'm with Chad every Friday night on my channel for Friday Night Versus, which is a lot of fun. So please check me out, give a sub if you like what you see. And hey, Chad, thanks for having me. Scuba Pete, Mikey, good to see you guys.
Good
I
to
love
see
you, buddy.
too,
Thanks
Jay.
for coming. Pete, what'd you get? Did you get a new pickup? You got some sealed Sergeant Slaughter shampoo? What you got? What you got? What
I
you
do.
got?
I do.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
Picked that
cool.
up in Indy last night.
I love it.
Very cool. But yeah, you can find me. We just dropped a a really long toy hunt, vintage toy hunt on the Scubas. That's Leslie and I. And then on Chasing 80s, I'm sharing that channel with my friends Chris in the Netherlands and Jeff Barker in Idaho. And I should be coming out with a new updated room tour because a lot, again, has changed in here. So
God, I'm still trying to do my third part of my Joe.
it's
Rogan,
hard.
which is my flag. Yeah, I'm working on
Oh.
it and busy. Very cool, Pete. Mikey, what about you with the customs and all the paint master work and your fantastic channel and neato stuff?
You know, still working on the list of commissions. Knocked out a couple of versions of sci-fi this week.
Nice.
Working on the Battle Core Lifeline right now.
Ooh, cool.
Haven't done any videos on these, but looking forward to getting and doing some more of that because I like
Nice.
that. I don't like the editing part, but I like the rest of it.
I like editing. Weird
Do
as that
Do
is.
you? I'm a
It's
schmo.
very
I let
meticulous,
Leslie does
and
it.
I do a very good job at focused, meticulous things. Building customs, editing videos. It's like it quiets all my noise. So
Mhm.
I like the meticulous work. Anyway, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
could see that. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, for me with the custom stuff, editing it, I don't get the satisfaction of the finished figure because now I've got to finish the video.
Yeah.
It's very prolonged. It takes about 2 weeks longer than the custom did. But looking into getting in some more of that. Hopefully some paint masters show up soon. I can work on some of those. Pretty excited about getting some Skeletron stuff. That'll be pretty dope.
Yeah, those figures are coming.
I saw that
Pretty
in my
cool.
inbox.
Did you work on any of them, or was that mostly Matt?
That was almost all Matt. That was all.
He
The OG.
free hand painted those skulls. That's crazy.
Wow.
I have done that on a couple of things. I know how absolutely horrible that is.
I can't even do eyes, man. You want to talk about sloth
Yeah.
from the Goonies? I'm like, here we go.
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Can't
Yep.
even do it.
He's the dude.
Go ahead.
No, that was it. You go.
Thanks to our good friend Justice Curry, Jay.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
I got
Darklon.
Darklon's ride,
Yep.
Ah,
which
cool.
you know I didn't have it. Justice was selling it. Justice is such a great guy. I was like, yeah, I'll pick that up.
That's a
And
great.
I got
vehicle.
that and a complete
Ooh.
Wow.
action
That's
pilot.
nice.
And no
Great.
one else bid on this damn figure. I was
Yeah.
like, you guys don't even know what you're looking at. Justice was like, he started this off at $8.
What?
And I put 30, and he still sold it to me for $8.
That's great. That's a great deal.
Awesome.
Heck
He's
yeah.
he's gonna go right here on the Action Force shelf.
Mhm.
Ta-da.
Your Action Force squad is growing, Chad.
It is, yeah. Zed Force, SAS, and Enemy Team are done.
Nice.
They are done. So mostly thanks to George Aiken.
Oh yeah.
You know how it is.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, George.
I got to work on finishing Q Force. That's coming next. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I love you all, and
Thank you.
Love you. Thank you for
Yeah.
having.
Yeah,
having us
buddy.
on.
Thank you.
good to hang out with you guys again. Chad loves monotony but hates tedium. Yeah. Everything has its place. That's what I believe. Oh, here you go. Commander Curb Stomp, what's up, dude? Says Mikey, any insight on when we might start getting geared up for the next wave of CSLB?
I don't have any insight. I know John and Troy are very set on getting your figures in hand before even talking about what they want to do next.
I'm sorry. I guess I should have.
They're very set on making sure what they promised is delivered and then moving on from there.
And that's what I love about the independent
Very
line.
so.
You see so much like customer satisfaction focus.
Yeah.
The way that your dad and Troy approach it, the way that like Ben and the Skeletron guys approach it, Marauders, Fresh Monkey Fiction, Bobby with Valiverse. Someone was like, hey, are you going to have Vanguards at DFW Joe Show, which they just announced they're coming to? And Bobby was like, only if I can get the pre-orders mailed out, because otherwise that's messed up. And I was like, that's how you do it, man. Customer service. That's how you keep people coming back.
Right.
Well, I mean, independents can't afford to shit where they eat.
No,
Like,
they cannot.
The
Absolutely
fans are
not.
the reason they're able to do it. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that to the fans.
They get us because they're one of us.
Absolutely.
David Andrews. I bid on that helicopter at Justice Curry's sale, and you bid $50. Yeah, it's the freaking the Black Apache from BBI Elite. You guys know what I'm talking
Sweet
about,
deal.
right?
Yeah.
And
Sweet
somebody was
deal.
like, he started it at like 15 or something like that, and a
You
couple
just go
people
large,
bid, and I was like, boom, $50.
which
Maybe
is
it was
still a
David
steal.
Andrews, but somebody put a sad face after I did that bid. Yeah, dude. That is. Yeah.
Is it
I
a
will
Blackhawk
outbid-
or a Little Bird? Which one is it?
It's the Apache.
Oh, it's the Apache.
The
Oh,
Apache.
dude, that's a sick deal.
Yep. And it's complete.
That's amazing.
I bid 50. I'll bid 100 on that bitch. Now watch,
Still-
like 10 people from the chat are
Still
going to be
a
like,
good
don't outbid me. I love you all. Yeah, James Lucas was like, yeah, I saw that too. Look, people know, don't come between me and my dollies. I'll get you, boy. Anyway, I want to thank the three of you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us tonight.
Chat's been awesome.
Great.
You guys made my night for sure.
Good stuff.
Right back at you.
Jay.
Yes, sir.
Chad's like, that's my copter, bitch. Yeah, damn straight. Jay, you're gonna sign us off.
I'm gonna sign us
Do it.
off.
Do it.
You can do it.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Do it, Jay. Sign us out like a gangster.
Oh, am I supposed to say the line for the warmth of scarves and for the
For the love of toys and the warmth of scars.
The warmth of scars, ladies and gentlemen, Yo Joe and Cobra. I don't know. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care of yourselves.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
Each other.
That was Jerry Springer.
That's totally Jerry Springer.
That's Jerry
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
All right. I love you guys, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and have an awesome day.